Alright, hello everybody, it's me, Clock, and today we're going to be playing a new visual novel made by the You and Him developer, Unknown Hermits. This is going to be Close to Obsession's new demo. I think it's new. I think there was an old demo. I don't know if I played it. I don't think I did. Content warnings, though, very important. Vag descriptors of body horror, minor spelling error, get fucked. Death, suicide, graphic violence, graphic deaths for 18 plus only, okay? Please recognize that, okay? If you're not, I will smite thee right away. Let's get into it. Close to Obsession. Who's this guy? Let's start. Act 1. Homecoming. Yeah, this is still a demo, though, just to let you guys know, okay? New York City. Dark storm clouds roll over the concrete jungle that is New York City. Rain pouring down in unrelenting sheets. A few people hurry to take cover. Others hold their briefcases or coats over their heads to avoid getting completely drenched. A vain effort on their part. 1 minute of getting caught in this weather, unprepared, and you're doomed. Unlike everyone else, you've embraced your fate. Okay, what is this, a typhoon? This just looks like rain. You're too exhausted to run, and the bear costume you're sporting is bogging you down thanks to all the water it's absorbed. I'm a furry! No, what the fuck? No way, man, I'm a furry in this? I mean, I respect furries, and that's fine, but what the fuck did I sign up for, dude? Every time you try to lift one of your legs, you feel like you've got lead weighing down your insoles. Any extra cardio will probably cause you to topple over. You could be a mascot. Mascot? Don't lie to me, chat. Don't try to make me feel better. I'm a fucking furry, apparently. And like a turtle, it's fallen in its shell. You two will be fucked and unable to get up if that happens. Who's fucking those turtles? You regret not changing out of your work clothes. But what can you do? Oh no! I'm not a furry, chat. I'm a stripper! I'm a male I'm a stripper! This makes more sense. I see. This is a result caused by your own lack of forethought. The consequences of my own actions. Damn. You mutter to yourself, earning strange looks from other pedestrians. Not that you can blame them. You're the crazy person walking around in a bear suit late at night talking to themselves. Anyone would suspect you're up to something shady. Not to mention this costume has deep pockets. Perfect for concealing knives as they are for hoarding goodies. You may have snagged a few things from the snack table while the director was shouting at someone and had his back turned. You kinda went overboard, but you don't regret it. You pat your sides, admiring your haul. Wait, am I a corn star? What? Another night of instant noodles and you would have lost what little sanity you have left. At least now you'll have some equally unhealthy alternatives to choose from rather than choking down the same noodles again. Not to mention, I can make rent on time this month. It's a benefit of abusing the freebie system at your job. Not that you hate it or anything. You're just doing your best to survive while using the few resources you have. Yeah, maximize that shit, bro. You never really expected to leave Mapleweather, an idyllic town with quaint shops and tight-knit community. The residents usually carve lives for themselves in the fields or by taking over their parent-owned shops, raising their own children to keep up the age-old tradition. People who were born in Mapleweather don't usually leave. They live and they die there. That's just how it is. Anyone looking for more becomes an outsider. That's why you didn't question the status quo until you returned home from your graduation party, found the entirety of your life stuffed into moving boxes. They sat stacked neatly on the curb, one box on top of the other like tiny skyscrapers. Your parents had also gone through the effort of changing the locks. Alright. So you did what anyone would. You panicked. Cried. Realized you were shit out of luck before you finally hurried to scrape together the meager savings from your bank account and headed straight for New York City. A lackluster smile find its way to your lips. Oh, if only they could see me now. I've hit my peak in life. I'm a bear who wears and endorses deodorant for commercials. Fuck yeah, bud. What the... What? Oh, this is me choosing I am truly a celebrity of my time, an actress of my time, an actor of my time. For this one, I'm gonna go with the he, himmer chatters. Thank you very much. We're turning yaoi. Self-deprecating jokes aside, you've done pretty well for yourself. Sure, you aren't famous. Okay. Okay, I've got... Okay, the one person who wanted me to play this game wants me to be a woman. Okay. Okay! Self-deprecating jokes aside, you've done pretty well for yourself. Sure, you aren't famous, but you were never interested in furthering yourself in the entertainment industry or pursuing acting as a career in the first place. Being a background character suits you just fine. You're satisfied as long as you've got a roof over your head and a full belly. Straight core on my Clockworthington channel? What? You can't ask for much else. You wouldn't dare to. You look down at your drenched bear suit and wince. Okay, well, maybe I could wish for some dry clothes. Lucky for you, you're almost home. Your apartment is just a straight shot past the large intersection ahead. A small crowd of people wait at the lights. Sleek cars and taxicabs zip by, pumping out exhaust in their wake, only for the smoke to dissipate thanks to the rain. You shuffle your way towards the front of the crowd, careful not to step on anyone's toes. The last thing you need is someone screaming at you for scuffing up their Armani shoes and demanding you pay damages. We're in New York City, just yell F you and give them a finger or something. What? Finger them on the street. You glance up once you stop just shy of the curb. Much better. Now you can at least see the light for yourself. As soon as the light turns green, you're booking it to your apartment and tearing off your bear suit. A nice, well-deserved nap will do you some good. You'll worry about dry cleaning your work uniform after. Maybe when the rain lets up. If the neighbors aren't locked in another screaming match, you'll consider today an all-around good one. Oh my god, this guy's skin is red. You shift from foot to foot with growing impatience when a tall man wearing a hoodie steals your attention from across the way. Yeah, he's literally bright red. It'd be impossible for the human eye not to see this guy. Is he staring at me? No, he doesn't have eyeballs. You glance around before returning your attention to him. Yep, definitely staring. What's his deal? Upon a close, he's just standing there, menacingly. Upon closer inspection, he doesn't appear hostile, but rather oddly serene. Like he's a man at peace with himself. Never mind. He's a blood cell. He's not at work right now. You squint, noticing he's mouthing words that you can't quite make out. What's he trying to say? Does he want to talk? Do you know him from somewhere? An amused smile tugs at his lips and he shakes his head. You're so confused by this interaction that you're not paying attention to the way he steps off the curb. Plunges himself right into oncoming traffic. Oh, cool. Fuck off, dude. Now I'm gonna be late to get home again. Their screams are hardly filtered through the paper-thin walls of your apartment. Oh. You put on some random LiveTubers gameplay channel in a poor effort to drown out the noise of your neighbor's marital spat. Corey X Kenshin. Corey X Kenshin. Clearly, it's not working. They're getting louder by the minute. Something about infidelity. Something about being good for nothing. Something about threats of divorce. In about 10 minutes, give or take, they'll follow up with some aggressive bed creaking, using their argument as a weird form of foreplay to get their engines revving. Why are they playing with their cars? Whatever it takes to keep the magic alive, I guess. But marriage counseling also does wonders. The sex ain't nearly as freaky, brother. You head into the kitchen and fill up a glass of water from the tap. You sigh as you hear the slam of a cupboard. It's not like you haven't brought up your concerns to the proper channels. The landlord brushed you off the first time you broached the subject, informing you that they've been at this for years before sending you a link for noise-canceling headphones. So now you're forced to mind your own business. As long as they aren't killing each other, there's nothing you can do, no matter how much you'd like to. It's another price of living in the city. Once again, loud neighbors like this are the absolute fucking worst. Try redirecting your focus by coming up with a mediocre meal using the snacks you nabbed earlier. Picking up a cracker, you steal a small bite before wincing at the sound. Following it up with a sip of water only worsens the effect. Memories of rain slicing through your lips, bringing you back to hours earlier. Damn it. You squeeze your eyes closed. You You can still taste the tang of that man's blood on your lips. What the fuck? Oh my god. Did I get drenched in blood and then subsequently get washed of the blood? What the fuck? Or did I kiss a dying man? Metallic. Sharp. And just as jarring when he stepped off the curb and into the path of an oncoming semi that finally tore his gaze away from yours. You stood there shell-shocked, watching as his body flew a few feet away before hitting the pavement. The driver of the semi couldn't hit the brakes in time. Large oppressive tires rolled over the man's already contorted limbs. I mean, it was raining. Even if he hit the brakes, he'd probably still go over. Bones snapping, crunching like tree branches torn off the wind by his head caving in, like the cracked shell of an egg with the yolk spilling over. You swallow hard at the memory, your stomach churning. You plant your glass on the kitchen countertop to keep from dropping it. Suicide. You just bore witness to a man committing suicide. The moment felt so surreal, so out of place that by the time the paramedics had arrived and collected his body, you had completely disassociated. You only snapped out of it after your neighbors started in on each other. You don't even remember stripping off your costume. One moment you were wearing it, and the next you were freshly showered and sporting a different set of clothes. Now here you are, your mind struggling to process a stranger's death while trying to figure out what to eat. Maybe I should skip dinner. Doing such a mundane thing in the face of death feels wrong. You're not sure you could stomach much anyway. Resigning yourself to the couch for the rest of the night, you sink into the cushions just in time to see the live tuber get jump scared by a sock puppet. Damn. Damn! Sock puppet? Wait a second. Oh no, what's the game called? I love that game. The Resident Evil sock puppet game. Oh my god. Okay, maybe not that game. He falls out of his chair before his head pops up, his headphones askew. His antics manage to bring the ghost of a smile to your lips. Beautiful, mind-numbing content full of humor. Just what you need. You're about half an hour in, starting to doze off when your phone screen lights up. You retrieve it from the coffee table. What's your agent calling you so late at night for? You answer on the third ring. Lee, what's up? Did something happen? Lee responds with the cheer of a man who's caffeinated and eager to take on the world. Hey, long time no talk, and just wanted to pop in and call for a real quick chat. It's nothing bad, I promise ya, but do you have a minute? The tension ebbs from your body at his reassurance. Oh, okay, good. That's good. Then, I'm glad. And yeah, I've got time. There's a pause before Lee speaks, his tone lacking the earlier enthusiasm, now replaced with a touch of softness. Is everything okay? You don't sound like yourself. He's right. You sound beaten down and exhausted, even to your own ears. Where's those acting chops of yours? You clear your throat and try to put on the performance of a lifetime. He doesn't need to know what happened. And you'd really rather not recant the memory for fear of reliving it in greater detail. Just tired is all. Probably coming down with something. So, what did you need? You said you needed to talk to me about something. Lucky for you, Lee takes the bait. Right, so get this. I've landed you a potential gig. A big one. And I wanted to gauge your interest. Another acting job. You scratch your cheek. I know. You mentioned you're thinking about leaving the entertainment industry, but I promise that this is something to write home about. And the best part, it's a long-term gig, meaning it's going to be more than your average commercial. We're talking a real chance at stability here. Ain't that what you always wanted? This gives you a genuine pause. A long-term acting job. Usually those get swept up by the big names, people with their foot already in the door and who've proven themselves. Now that your work is not that your work is anything to sneeze at. You bust your ass to deliver on each and every project you've been a part of. Yes, they're all mostly commercials, and some of them only made for local businesses, with no intention of broadcasting to an audience outside of the city. But you put your all in it. What's the point of doing something if you're only gonna half-ass it? Your father used to say that while buried face-deep in someone else's engine before gesturing for a tool. Sorry, I was turning that into the wrong storyline. Solid piece of advice, all things considered. It's gotten you where you are now, but you're not sure where you want to stay. Draw your legs up to your chest, lost in thought. Listen, Lee says, carefully punctuating the silence. I'll understand if you say no. It's your decision, and I gotta respect that. But I can't lie and say I wouldn't appreciate it if you heard me out. So tell me, friend, what's it gonna be? My only answer. Hear me out. Hear him out. The choice isn't immediately obvious. You still take a few minutes to mull over the implications of what taking on such a large role could do to you, and you realize, while there's a few cons, they don't outweigh any of the pros. For one thing, there's an opportunity for steady income. If this job is as stable as Lee says it is, then you can treat yourself to an actual meal for once. Since you moved out, it's been Sodium City. You won't need to smuggle food offset. You can pay your own bills on time. You might even earn just enough cash to be put extra in savings. And for the second reason, tell me something. Are they shooting within the city limits or an alternate destination? Oh, I can't remember the name of it. I'd have to look at my email again, but the site location is in a rural area. That cements the idea in your head. You could use a break from the city after the events of today. It's not always easy living here, and you sometimes miss your small town life where things felt simpler. Change of scenery could be good for you. Alright, Lee, I'll bite. Tell me the full scope. His response is instant. You can practically feel him beaming as he pipes up. I just knew you would hear me out. You were always a go-getter. So get this. He dips his voice into a conspiratorial whisper, and you can't help but smile over the fact that he's treating his news like a juicy piece of gossip. Your agent is never boring, and it's one of the main reasons you enjoy his company. Apparently, there's some bigwigs who've got a series of novels to TV adaptation in the works. I'm talking bestsellers, top of the charts for months with each additional release kind of novels. They've got a good amount of source material too. Do we know what genre? Not that it matters, but your interest is piqued. You managed to take a sip of water without wincing for the first time tonight. Does it remind you of Blood and Rain? A mystery thriller with supernatural elements and a touch of romance later on. And why this role in particular? What makes you sure I can get it? That's the thing. They approached me about you after seeing some of the work you'd done. They liked your acting chops and wanted to see if you'd audition for one of the lead-in roles. You nearly dropped your glass. They did what now? I told you when we first met, didn't I? You got that spark about you, and you needed the right people to take notice. Goodbye, Super Panda. Good luck. Don't die. That's why I wanted to represent you. Your acting isn't that good, is it? Are you sure this isn't a scam? That they didn't mix up someone else you're representing? You need to believe in yourself more, kid. You got what it takes in this line of business. I know you're satisfied with what you have, but it's okay to make goals for yourself and aim higher. I know. It's just surreal to hear. Not to mention you were mostly doing this to put bread on the table. You don't have grandiose goals when it comes to the entertainment industry, yet somehow you've managed to stumble into a career that many fight tooth and nail for. Man, this is hitting close to home, man. Oh my god. What? No doubt you've still got to audition for the role, but the fact that they're interested in you speaks volumes. You're not sure how you got here. Oh, I missed a hydrate check, but I actually don't have any water today. Sorry, chatters. Drink water, you motherfuckers, because I don't have any. So drink for me. Okay, I'll go for it. You say at the same time, Lee says, "Aha! Found it!" You blink at his sudden outburst. He gives a sheepish laugh. There is a storm where I live as well, chat, and Ginger was very kind to tell me that our internet might go out, but I kind of figured. So if this video gets interrupted, my bad, okay? But I think we'll be okay. Gives a sheepish laugh, and you can imagine him scrubbing the back of his head. Sorry about that. It was driving me crazy when I couldn't remember the name of the town they're shooting in, so I looked it up while we were discussing the other details. Point is, I found it. He then clears his throat before he speaks again. So have you ever heard of a place called Maple Weather, Connecticut? 2 months later! My hometown! Maple Weather, Connecticut. A haunting in Connecticut. Crystal clear skies and a gentle breeze greet you once you hit Maple Weather. You step off of the bus and onto a narrow dirt road. The winding path made it impossible for the bus to navigate the lush wooded area. Thankfully, you don't have to travel too far on foot. Your destination is just a short walk ahead. Close your eyes and inhale the fresh, sweet scent of grass, of dirt and summer blooms. It's hard to believe you've returned. It's even harder to believe you landed a role for a TV series. You still had to audition despite the initial interest, but somehow you managed to land the role and now you're here, back in your hometown once again. You're sure you'll see a lot of familiar faces in the coming weeks. The friends and family members who once meant everything to you are now born-again strangers. You haven't gotten into contact with them in ages. How will they react knowing you've returned for a temporary stay? Easy, just don't talk to them. Boom. Only one way to find out. Take a deep, steadying breath before following the uneven terrain. Birds chirp from their nests high up in the trees, and you catch the sounds of running water from a creek nearby. So many summers were spent there. Personal opinion, if your parents put you out on the street like that, then you don't need to talk to them ever again. Like, that's the law they have laid, basically, you know? You owe them nothing after that. That is what they're making. The point they're making is we owe you nothing, so you owe them nothing. That's how it works. You remember vibrant red hair, fits of laughter, and wet sneakers. Excuse me, why wet sneakers? You remember large, reliable hands pulling you out from the creek after you and your group of friends jumped in one after another. You remember the lopsided smile of the boy who lived right across the street from you. The boy next door. Well, no, the boy across the street. You just said it. Max Ackerman. Huh? Now that's a name you haven't thought about in ages. But you don't think about him for long when the wheel of your luggage accidentally snags on a rock. You mutter a curse before navigating around it. Several minutes of struggling later, and you finally catch sight of the inn up ahead. According to Lee, the length of the production for a TV series typically spans over the course of a few months, so accommodations were made for your prolonged stay. The Lanternfly Inn. What a place. Trust me when I say you'll love it, friend. I'll love it, friend. Who's talking to me? The name didn't ring any bells when Lee gave you the finer details of your travel plans, so you woogled it. But the snapshots you saw on the homepage did not do the place justice. Lee was right. Before you sits a pretty cottagecore-inspired building. The architecture itself is gorgeous with its cream-colored paneling that's dappled intermittently with windows and wooden shutters. Purposely broken paving stones cut through the garden, winding up to the wooden porch. A woman reads quietly in one of the rocking chairs. She doesn't seem at all bothered by the hammering originating from somewhere on the roof. You try to spot the individual, but you don't see them. Oh my god, Grandma! Oh, you finally made it, dear. The woman who was reading spots you. She wedges a bookmark between the ink-stained pages to mark her place before setting her book aside and drawing herself out of the chair. She reaches for a plastic cane resting against the wall. You recognize her as the owner from one of the photos she posted online. A pleasure to meet you. I'm Patricia, but you can call me Patty. Hi, Patty. It's nice to meet you, too. You take her proffered hand in greeting before she turns to peer up at the roof and calls out, Dear, can you come down here for a moment? We've got another arrival, and these old withered bones aren't what they used to be. They need their things brought to their room. Oh, I can. She waves you off with a dismissive hand. Nonsense. You're probably tired from your journey, and he's a strong young man. The hammering stops, and you look up just in time to see a familiar face striding up to the edge of the roof as he tucks his hammer into the tool belt cinched at his waist. The sun outlines his form in a layer of gold. Max. He's really grown into himself. Well, hello, sailor! Hi, howdy. Wait, I thought you put that hammer in a tool belt, but I guess you got two hammers. Damn. Okay. The last time you saw Max, he was scrawny thanks to his super fast metabolism. A boy with all the awkward angles and ill-fitting clothes. Back then, you used to joke about how you could take him over your knee and snap him like a twig. But now you just wind up hurting yourself if you tried. How much milk did this man drink to get that much muscle mass? Okay. Sure thing, Mrs. Orchards. Just give me... Max cuts himself off mid-sentence when he notices you standing there. Your gazes meet. You lift your hand in greeting with a faint smile. Hey, long time no see. His lips part, clearly stunned by your sudden presence. He blinks a few times. When you don't disappear, he scrubs his eyes before leaning forward to get a better look. What a nickname. Tater Tot, is that really you? One of the tiles breaks off and gives away, causing Max's leg to slip. You watch in abstract horror as he's sent plummeting off the side of the roof before landing in a sea of flowers with a harsh, unforgiving thud. It's okay, guys. It's okay. He's fine. Handymen, they're so used to this shit, okay? Handymen are used to this. This is a typical Friday, okay? He lies completely motionless once he hits the ground. He's fine. He's fine. Was that a crack just now? Oh god, not again. Not Max. Horror sinks its teeth into the marrow of your bones. You don't want to get closer. You don't want to confirm or see the blood that's surely pooling around Max's head, painting the once beautiful garden in a violent red. How could this happen? In your best effort to escape the memory of a stranger's death, you may have just bore witness to another. Max? Patty shuffles over to the fallen man. The air floods back into your lungs, and when he groans in response. Ow, my dignity. He's alive. Oh, thank fuck. You hurry to join them just in time for Max to sit up, rubbing the small of his back. Are you okay? Probably just some minor bruising, but I'll walk it off. He then seems to register that you're the one speaking to him, and he breaks out into a cheerful grin. Well, I'll be damned, it is you. What are you doing back in our neck of the woods? You didn't by any chance come to just visit me, did you? Patty taps him lightly with her cane. You scared the tar out of us? What were you thinking, standing so close to the edge like that? You could have gotten seriously hurt or even killed. It'll take more than a small fall like that to kill me, Mrs. Orchards. I've taken worse dives while riding horses. Max pushes himself off the ground and dusts himself off before hooking his thumbs into the pockets of his jeans. See? Perfectly fine. Just got some dirt on me, and that'll rub right out with a dollop of detergent. Patty takes a deep, centering breath, pinching the bridge of her nose. Stubborn like your father. Whatever will I do with the two of you? Don't know, but I'm sure we'll find out. He gives her a grin that says this isn't the first time he's caused her to worry. You decide to interject. You should still probably ice your back as an extra precaution. That fall was nasty. Patty, you wouldn't happen to have any packages of frozen peas lying around, would you? Oh yes, there's some in the freezer out back. Max blanches. Blanches fries? Really, Tater Tot, there's no... He lets out a yelp as soon as you quickly circle him and press the tip of your pointer finger into his back. Max looks sheepish as he peers over his shoulder at you. You raise a brow in return, holding up said finger. Did I just finger, bro? Did I just finger Max? Yes, I did. Yeah, I'm not believing that for a minute. Now get moving, big guy. Max scrubs an arm across his forehead after hauling your luggage up to your room. His smile is vibrant as he turns to face you. So, what do you think? Nice, right? You glance around. The inside of these 4 square walls is where you'll be staying for the next few months. I feel like the music is a little too loud. I'll turn it down just a tiny bit, okay? Tucked into the corner of this room is a large king-sized mattress with a thick cream-colored comforter and fluffed pillows, made for maximum comfort. Artificial plants are sprinkled throughout the room. A large dresser rests beneath the arched window, and you can see the garden from here. While beautiful, you feel nothing but agitation. What's with that look, Tater Tot? He damn well knows. While you had your backs turned in search of a cold compress, he managed to swipe your belongings before you could stop him. Took 2 steps at a time while leaping up the stairs. By the time you turned around, he was already on the 2nd floor. You did not steal out of my luggage, did you? The sneaky little shit. Always worrying about the well-being of others while completely foregoing his own. It's just like him. You don't even bother explaining, simply choosing to point at the bed instead. Lay down and lift lay down and lift your shirt up. That's a bit forward, don't you think? Want me to poke you again? I should have said, want me to finger you again? Either sit willingly or I'll wrangle you faster than Shelley did with that 600-pounder pig at the county fair. Max holds up his hands in surrender. He lowers his large body onto the bed, eating up a good portion of the space before obeying. You perch yourself along the edge of the mattress and take in the sight of his exposed skin, your observation more clinical than anything. No visible bruising, so that's good. You pull the hem of his shirt up a bit more just to double check, but smooth skin is all that greets you. Did such a large fall drop really not hurt him? Max stiffens when you accidentally brush the small of his back while you're lost in thought. Sorry, did I hurt you? Tips of his ears are dusted pink. No, just tickles. His hand rubs the spot where you touched him, his gloves removed to reveal calloused fingers. Probably as a result of all the manual labor he does. He had a habit of helping all over town when he was younger, and that clearly hasn't changed. While some part of you is glad that the kind, giving part of him still exists, old worries follow suit. Max never knew how to say no to someone in need. You're not pushing yourself too far, are you, Max? You swallow your concerns, deciding not to voice them aloud. Instead, you lower the frozen bag onto the base of his spine before placing your hands into your lap. Max turns his head towards you as he rests his cheek on the crook of his arm. Those warm, forest green eyes twinkle with good humor despite his flushed appearance. So, what's the diagnosis, Doc? Am I gonna make a full recovery? Do you want my honest professional opinion? Lay it on me. I'm a big boy. You try not to smile, deciding to play along. We still need to run a few tests. But I'm afraid it's not looking good for you, Mr. Ackerman. By my calculations, you have a full 24 hours before your condition worsens, and your body starts shutting down. I suggest making funeral plans. Tell your loved ones goodbye. Do what you need to do before the time comes. A full 24 hours, huh? I can do a lot in that time. Like me. A lot of damage, you mean? Are you trying to say I'm a troublemaker, Tater Tot? Not exactly, but your clumsiness somehow always manages to get you into the worst predicaments. Name one time. Really? You're gonna force me to point out the obvious? Well, you don't have to. And I think using such a recent event is cheating, don't you? You're the one who asked me to give an example. You didn't state specifics. Give me a pen and paper and I'll outline them for you. Go and get them yourself if you're that determined. Tater Tot? That's not your favorite nickname, is it, chat? I thought it was cute, Tater Tot. But definitely not one I've heard before. He wanted to be really unique, okay? It's cute. Yeah, it's cute. I stand by Tater Tot being cute. It's small, golden, and it's delicious, okay? That's what a Tater Tot is. If I was Max, I'd eat out a Tater Tot, okay? Hands up in the air. Weren't you the one who said I needed to lie down and ice my back? Wouldn't doing that be going against doctor's orders? I'll rectify my mistake by axing the initial prescription and suggest the age-old method of going outside and rubbing some dirt on it. Out of context? What? So this is our childhood friend, and we've returned to our old town for an acting gig, and that's pretty much all the context I'm giving you. We haven't seen him in forever, and he calls us Tater Tot. Maybe Shelley will let you roll around in one of her pig pens free of charge. Is this your subtle way of telling me to eat shit? That's not very nice. What happened to our sweet old Tater Tot? Who would never think of implying such a thing? Boy, does city life sure does change people. Max heaves a dramatic sigh, setting aside the now defrosted bag of peas as he sits up and scooches closer to you on the bed. He knocks a playful knee against yours to show he's kidding. A wry smile tugs at your lips. You're the one who started calling me Tater Tot after our heated argument, saying I was always salty and short-tempered. Sounds like a Tater Tot. You've never once called me sweet. Are you saying you want me to give you a new nickname? You stick your tongue out at him. How about you just refer to me by my actual name? But if I do that, how will people know you're important to me? His eyes are locked on your tongue, but dart away when he realizes you've taken notice. By expressing it in a normal way? Giving pet names is a method of expressing it the normal way. You can tell he genuinely means that. I mean, that's kind of true. You gotta say it with more riz? No. Look, I don't have a... Teeter-tot! There you go. There's the Riz voice. I brought it out for you. Thank you, thank you. Time to lock that away. You're surprised? Sorry, I won't use that voice, okay? I swear. Yeah, he looks like a 16-year-old going through puberty, actually. You're surprised something as mundane as a nickname means this much to him. Still doesn't negate your next point. Yeah, but they don't usually stem from arguments. They're typically used as terms of endearment. I don't think that's always the case, but I can see your point. Alright then, what would you prefer instead? Tater tot. Oh, wait, I'm gonna save? What? Holy fucking shit, what are these sound effects, man? What the fuck? Okay. Okay, wait. Do you guys want me to have him keep calling me Tater Tot, or should I try to mix it up? What do you guys think? Let's see what the other option. Have him call you something else. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. I like Tater Tot. I'm gonna leave it as Tater Tot because, you know, we could go with Clock or Chat or something. Well, would you prefer Chat? Mix it up? But what would we go with? Yeah, I think Tater Tot is cute. If I did, I would literally just go with Darlin. That's my go-to pet name. That's like the go-to. Darlin. Darlin. Tater Tot over Chat. I think Tater Tot's good. I think Chat has decided Tater Tot. Keep the nickname. I never said I hated the nickname. I just wanted to point out a few key points relevant to the topic. In other words, you wanted to verbally banter with me and didn't think I'd take your arguments seriously. He's clearly amused by your admission. More like I wanted to share my full unfiltered thoughts. I have a cat that's very upset right now. Goddamn cat. Oh, I also have water now. Hydrate check. I love water. YouTube, right now, drink your goddamn water. Get some, okay, if you don't have it. Get some. Seriously, drink up. Hydrate. It's important. Combative. He drawls, his tone light and teasing. You were joking until you started taking me seriously near the end there. You tease back. You're caught off guard when his gaze softens into complete and utter sincerity as he leans closer to you. His warm breath dusts your cheeks. He smells of mint and summer, of nostalgia and safety, of the home you thought you'd all but forgotten. You didn't realize how close you were sitting until his fingers brushed against yours, his touch kind and lacking the weight of expectation. That's because I never wanted to make you uncomfortable where I can help it. So if you say no, I won't do it. If you want me to stop, I'll stop. And if you want me to stop touching you, like I'm doing right now, then tell me. A knock sounds at the door, interrupting the moment. Max swiftly gets up to go answer it, beating you to the punch. He swings the door wide open, but you can't see your visitor since he's blocking the way with his towering frame. Crane your neck trying to get a glimpse. Let me see! The floral print dress gives her identity away before Max does. Fancy seeing you here, Mrs. Orchards. Do you need something? Yes, dear. Now please move so I can speak with my guest. Oh, right. Sorry about that. He steps aside so she can set foot into the room, her previous cane swapped out for a wooden one. There's intricate detailing carved along the shaft, showcasing the life cycle of a lanternfly from when they're eggs to grown adults. That's so specific. Yo, chat, what up? You wonder who made it? Hey, Patty, what's up? Hello, dear. I just wanted to drop by to see how you were settling in and if the room was to your liking. You cock-blocked me, Granny. Thanks. The room is perfect. Thanks again for letting me stay here. Patty waves you off. Oh, nonsense. The production company foots the bill. There's nothing to thank me for. I'm just providing my property and getting paid as a result. Production company. Right. You never got around to telling him why you're here. I'm staying in town for a couple of months. I got hired on for a part in a TV series, and we're shooting the first season in maple weather. So, you didn't come back to see me. He trails off before scrubbing the back of his neck and glancing away. Oh. Catch a flicker of sadness. His shift in behavior leaves you waist deep in confusion. Patty gently whacks his kneecaps with her cane. Damn, Granny, what the hell? Pulling him out of his peculiar mood. Shameless boy, don't just stand there. Congratulate them. Yeah, of course. Max clears his throat before shooting you a lopsided grin, masking his initial dejection. Congratulations on getting the role. I'm happy for you and all that you've managed to accomplish on your own. I know you'll go on to do great things, Tater Tot. I'm sure of it. The sentiment comes off as empty, hollow. A superficial attempt at praise to satisfy Patty's request and tell you what you want to hear. But you know better. Because you know him. What's he hiding? Why did he look so heartbroken just now? You're given no time to speculate when Patty draws your attention back to her as she gestures towards Max. I did come here for another reason. Since this town doesn't offer taxi or rental cars, guests without proper transportation will be ported around by one of the townsfolk who volunteer their services. Max is one of those volunteers. I'm certain that, since you're already well acquainted, he'd love to take over the position. She gives Max a knowing side eye as she drops her hand. Yo, Granny trying to set us up? Max rocks on the heels of his boots under her scrutiny, hooking his thumbs in through his belt loops. He's still avoiding your gaze, but keeps his tone light. Bros, I'm sorry. Ah! Ah! Dude, I'm like punching myself in the face right now. Dude, my nose is so itchy. I think I was kind of cuddling my cats earlier, and I don't have allergies to cats, but... Ah! Yeah, I don't have allergies to cats. Yep. Just think of me as your personal chauffeur. I'll take you anywhere you want to go within town limits. So, no spur-of-the-moment road trips? I turn into a pumpkin as soon as I hit the outskirts of town, so I'm afraid not. You'll need to take a bus if you want to go back into the city. Other than that, I'm all yours. I could even roleplay as your tour guide and point out all of our hotspots here in Maple Weather if you want the full tourist experience. We can use it as an excuse to catch up, maybe stop and grab something to eat or visit the creek. But if that doesn't work for you... His eyes meet yours, and despite his best efforts to hide it, you can see that profound sadness again. The one that completely kills the light in his eyes. Then that's okay, too. We can just keep things professional, or we can find you a different volunteer. Whatever you want to do, I'm on board. He examines the toe of his boot like it's the most fascinating thing in the world. Like he's trying to avoid your gaze for fear of pressuring you. It's clear he wants to spend time with you. Minor spelling mistake. But for some odd reason, he seems to think you might not feel the same way. Why would he assume that? You don't understand where this insecurity comes from, why it came out of seemingly nowhere, or why he's trying to hide it in the first place, but... Wait, no, that's not right. You briefly close your eyes and mentally shake your head. You know exactly why he's doing it. You open your eyes again to catch Max stealing glances at you. He stops once he sees you've taken notice. His cheeks pinken and he scrubs the back of his neck, looking extremely guilty over being caught. Makes you wish he'd be more honest with himself. Be more honest with you. Max never voices the thoughts he deems either as selfish or with the potential to create conflict out loud. This is true especially when it comes to you. So whatever he's hiding, you don't doubt he's doing it because he thinks it's in your best interest. But what Max doesn't realize is that it's something that's always nagged at you for the entire duration of your friendship. One of these days, though, you promise both him and yourself, I'm gonna get you to open up. Because you're stubborn and Max is your best friend, and it doesn't matter how long it's been. You care for him deeply. Well, you say as you close the distance between you and Max, right up until he's forced to meet your gaze due to your proximity. I love how MC is referring to, like... I'm not gonna lie, MC talks like a dude, bros. MC talks like a dude, and I'm so for real on that because, you know, like, I always talk to girls about this sort of thing, but girls always are like, you haven't talked to that person you call your best friend in, like, months, and I'm like, yeah, but that's my best bro. This MC's like, I haven't talked to my best friend in years, but we're still best bros. It's based, honestly based. You say as you close the distance between you and Max, right up until he's forced to meet your gaze due to your proximity. You smile at him. If it's all right with you and you're feeling okay enough, then I'd love to visit old haunts with my best friend. Lead the way, big guy. Oh, like months later? Oh, no, never mind. Okay. Sorry about the lack of air conditioning. Max says as he reaches across the center console in order to roll down your window and let the fresh summer breeze in. He then checks your seatbelt before turning the key over. The engine wakes with a choked cough before smoothing out into a less anxiety-inducing purr. Max places his hand on the gear shift as he backs out. Every time I get one thing fixed, another breaks down. My truck's a trooper, though. Well, it may have a few new quirks since our last stint together. I promise it'll get us where we need to go. I'd like to believe you, but... You pluck his toolbox off the ground and root around. There's an assortment of wrenches, screwdrivers, pliers, and utility knives that are slightly rusted from age. Pick up a pair of pliers at random and scrape your fingernail across a long red-brown flecks, scratching them off and watching as they drift to the ground. On the off chance your truck does give out, I'm using you as my new chariot for compensation. That's my one non-negotiable. You examine your work before wincing, realizing how much more rust is left. Reminds you too much of dried blood. Of how it would look when it's fresh and diluted by the rain. You return the toolbox to the designated spot next to your feet and catch Max smiling at you with amusement out of the corner of his eye. You just want an excuse to turn me into a horse and put a saddle on me, don't you? You said it, not me. Hey, yo, we're gonna be riding cowboy? Hey, yo! Then we'll make a pit stop in the feed store and pick up a few supplies. You're way too committed to the bet. I aim to please. Max shoots you a lopsided grin full of humor as he drives down the winding dirt road that leads back onto the main road, branches whipping against the windshield. The truck ahead is bumpy. The road ahead is bumpy and full of potholes, but the atmosphere in the truck is light, playful. Despite the initial awkwardness back at the end, whatever was troubling Max has disappeared. You're relieved. You forgot how much you enjoyed his company, and the idea of hurting him in any capacity bothers you. Still don't know what caused his initial reaction or when you'll find an opportunity to breach the subject in the near future, but you're glad he's feeling better. You lean back in your seat and take in the scent of maplewood trees and sweet-scented grass. Nostalgia hits you like a brick. You realize you missed this. You forgot the ease of being with someone who's known you your whole life while enjoying a simple drive. Sure, there's benefits to living in the city. New York offers anonymity, and as everyone minds their own business, but with it comes isolation. Loneliness. There's no sense of community, and it's impossible to make long-term friendships or truly connect with anyone. Coming back here feels like you've never left, like you've stepped inside of a time capsule where everything and everyone is the same they always were. Of course. You eye Max through your peripheral, with a few outward changes here and there. Max starts pointing out familiar landmarks once you hit the town center, which acts as the central shopping district. You start cracking up when he points to a random patch of grass in front of City Hall. You already know what he's going to say before he says it. And over here is where I slathered myself in peanut butter because someone had the bright idea of collecting fire ants for an ant farm. Yeah, you. That was you. I was just a mere bystander minding their own business. You were the one who suggested using myself as live bait by covering myself in peanut butter. Okay, for one, I suggested jelly, the complimentary condiment to peanut butter. And two, that was Avery Barnes who suggested you slather it all over yourself like suntan lotion, not me. So I may have misremembered, but that was probably due to the trauma of being abandoned by my best friend in my time of need. He gives you a pointed look. Throw up your hands in mock exasperation. You were crying and I was running to get a bug bite medicine. Excuse me for trying to run and get help. I think you just saw my grandpa walking out of town hall and ran because you were afraid of getting in trouble. I see right through your lies, tater-tot. Again, that was Avery Barnes. You can ask Dr. West. I ran straight to his practice. I'm innocent. Uh-huh. Likely story. Max purses his lips in an effort to hide the fact that they're twitching at the corners. He's clearly trying not to laugh. Just like him to egg you on no matter how much time has passed. This stinker. You huff and brace your hand on the door handle. I'm starting to regret accepting the tour guide package. I think I've changed my mind. I want out. Max immediately hits the button for this truck's central locking system without even taking his eyes off the road. Oh, would you fancy that? It would seem I've accidentally locked the doors. Looks like you're stuck with me. You know, if you were anyone else, I'd start screaming stranger danger and start banging at the windows. His expression softens. You know I'd never hurt your tater tot. As for giving you a hard time, he unlocks the doors as he goes to parallel park in front of a decrepit-looking building with boarded-up windows. On the left of the building is the market where most everyone in town gets their groceries. And on the right is Ackerman's Hardware, a family-run business that Max planned on inheriting from his father after he graduated high school. Max shrugs. Oh my god, it's 3:30. Just like real life. Well, that's up for debate. I know. Which, again, is why I implied you're the only exception to that rule. Can't imagine you're going out of your way to hurt someone. It's not even feasible to me. Shake your head at the mere thought. The Max you know would never do that. Not when he's always bent over backwards to offer help to anyone and everyone in need. Even to his own detriment. I don't know about that. Anyone is capable of becoming the worst version of themselves under the right circumstances. Max taps the edge of his steering wheel, his gaze distant. Even me. This admission surprises you. Oh? And what would your circumstances be? This seemingly innocent question gives Max genuine pause. 1 minute of silence passes. Then 2. So 3! Sweat drips along the small of your back at 3. Okay, why wouldn't we just say, are you okay? 3 minutes! Do you not know how long 3 minutes is? No, I would have just gotten out of the car and be like, okay, did I break you? The summer heat pulses in time like the ticking of the clock in the seconds leading up to 5, and you're left wondering if he's going to answer when he faces you. Clock reference, by the way. He drapes his arm along the back of the steering wheel, wearing that signature smile of his. But there's an air of seriousness surrounding it. Surrounding him. You're taken aback by the sudden tonal shift. I'm afraid I can't tell you that. He then leans forward and taps your nose lightly with his finger. You blink. The brief moment of tension disappears so fast that you're left wondering if you imagined it. No, that was 6 minutes. After all, I've got to leave some mystery in our relationship, so I can keep you guessing and coming back for more. Are you implying I don't know everything there is to know about you, Mr. Ackerman? You do not. I am a man of many secrets. I'm sure I'll learn more about them later when I get a hold of the diary you hide in your nightstand. I'll have you know, I found a better hiding spot. You'll never discover where. You put it between your box spring and mattress, didn't you? He looks at you with feigned exasperation. Can't a man just have a safe space where he can explore his big feelings in private? In a small-ass town like Mapleweather, where entertainment is already so hard to come by, and run-of-the-mill gossip is treated as the daily newsletter. Boy, do I have some bad news for you. Don't tell me. I'd rather not hear it. You're only hurting yourself by avoiding the cold, hard truth. I like being in denial. It's a preferred state of living for me. Helps keep the optimism alive. Gee, I couldn't tell. Max let out sound a bark of laughter before shaking his head and shooting you another smile as he kills the engine. Just sit tight and I'll grab the door for you. He then slips out of the truck and rounds the hood before opening the door and offering his hand to help you down. You don't even think about it. Take his hand as your own slides over his slightly rougher palm. His fingers curl over yours in reflex. His hold is considerate and thoughtful as the rest of him. He's careful not to grip you too tight. Easy does it. We don't want you falling, but I've got you if you do. His free hand goes to touch the center of your back to keep you stable, braced there to bring you into the protective encirclement of his arms if you stumble. Slide out of the car with relative ease, your shoes hitting the asphalt with a resounding click. You smile at Max. Ever the gentleman. Thank you for your services, good sir. You're very welcome. He's still clasping your hand. Max, are you gonna let me go, or... Oh, right. My bad. He's quick to release you, the tomato red of his cheeks practically blending his face into the scarlet red of his hair. He coughs into an embarrassed fist before clearing his throat as he turns towards the direction of the hardware store, his voice like loose gravel. Ugh. I wanted to make a pit stop by my loft before we head for the market, if that's okay with you. Your loft? We had the hardware store's attic converted into one a while ago. Figured I could use the space and independence rather than living with my pa for the rest of my life, and if I wanted to bring guests over. You can come with me or wait at the market where there's air conditioning if you'd prefer. I doubt Mr. Abernathy would mind, whichever is more comfortable to you. Oh wow, I was wondering if there was... This visual novel doesn't seem to have many options. But let's go follow him up to his loft. We're not a dick, we're friends with this guy, right? Let me go up with you. I want to check out this new humble abode of yours. Follow close behind as Max goes to unlock the store using one of the keys on his key ring. He's collected a bunch over the years. Don't doubt some of them belong to other shops around the town. Everyone here trusts the local handyman. Max has never given anyone a reason to feel otherwise. I'll warn you ahead of time that I haven't gotten the chance to tidy up after work, Max says as he jiggles the lock. Summers are a pretty busy season for the shop and house calls. You'll probably need to watch your step. I'm not sure what all I have lying around. His hand freezes on the door handle, his eyes popping wide open. He forgot his flashlight, didn't he? It's sitting on the counter. Damn. He turns to you in a panic and quick as a whip. You know what? On second thought, why don't... But his words fall on empty ears as you eagerly bypass him in your excitement, unaware of his obvious reluctance. Oh yeah, flashlight on the table, tissues on the floor. Oh, it's everywhere. Inside the hardware store, dust motes float in the air like dwindling stars caught in rotation as the breeze from the opening door stirs them to life. Rows upon rows are pegs and shelves filled with useful power tools, building materials, housewares, you name it. The layout hasn't changed all that much. Even the front counter still has the stickers you and Max slapped on it back from when you were kids. A little splash of color, Max had said, back when he still wanted to become a famous artist. At this point in time, summer was nearing its end with the beginning of the school year looming on the horizon. Your hand-me-down knapsack was already freshly packed and ready to go. To come to terms with the loss of your freedom, Max, however, was insistent on making the most of it. You watched as Max smacked on another sticker, this one overlapping his previous edition, mostly because there was nothing left to lose, nothing left to cover. Do you really think that's a good idea? Your dad's gonna yell at you, you know. Back then, you were used to Max getting into all kinds of trouble and dragging you along for the ride. Despite this, you still tried to act as the voice of reason. Emphasis on tried. Max smiled up at you from where he was kneeling, bright and joyful as the rising sun, his hair a mess of tangles. Nah, there's nothing to worry about. Dad puts bumper stickers on his car all the time, so what's the difference? Max, those are car tags. They're supposed to go on the license plate. And these aren't? Well, either way, I think he's gonna like them. You'll see. Here, why don't you add a few? He yelled at the package to you, wiggling it around with a toothy smile. You couldn't help but sigh. We are so getting into trouble for this. But that was half of the fun back then, so you plucked one of the stickers out of his hand at random. You were in the middle of applying your 12th sticker when... What in the Sam Blazes are you two rascals doing? The fuzz is here! Abort! Abort! Max then had the brilliant idea to barrel roll away from the scene of the crime, and wound up knocking you over in the process as you tried hopping off the counter. You both wound up tangled in a heap of limbs. The jig was up, and the ensuing punishment Max's father dealt was swift. Looking back now, though, you can't say you regret it. These stickers are a preservation of your friendship and youth set on full display. A moment captured in time unlike any other. Forget how spunky Max used to be. Your fingers dance along the countertop and you smile as you head towards the back, right up until something snags at your shirt. You turn and realize it's Max who's caught a hold of the hem, the fabric pinched between his thumb and forefinger. He's like, please don't go to my room. He's covering his flushed face with a gloved hand. He won't look you in the eyes. Can you just give me a minute before you come upstairs? There's a fleshlight I need to take care of. Why is that? You got more secrets lying around? Just 50 photos of you. No, I'm just joking. You're teasing him, or am I? But he doesn't rise to the bait like usual. He keeps quiet, his grip on your shirt tightens. You soften at the sight. You're that worried about it. It's just not something I'd rather share right now. Oh, is it art? Actually, seriously, is it just pretty art that he made? That's awesome. You'll admit you're curious about what he's hiding, but you'll be remiss if you go around disrespecting his boundaries like that. Daniel, nut on him. What the hell? Already? We're in a hardware store. There's nuts everywhere. You pat his shoulder in reassurance. Okay, but just know that you're getting only like 5 minutes. Use them wisely. He instantly relaxes, shaking his head with a smile. So charitable. 4 minutes, 45 seconds, and counting. Max bolts into the back rooms before you can... The back rooms! And we never saw him again. Before you can finish, and you hear the distinct thump of boots that no doubt leads to his loft. The floor creaks overhead as he shuffles around. You decide to make yourself useful while you wait. My wear is hard in the store. Your WarioWare? There's a box full of misplaced items needing to be restocked sitting on the stool behind the cash register. You grab it and begin the methodical process of putting everything back into its proper place. Glad you found something to occupy yourself with. Nails, spray paint, wire cutters are the first to find their homes. Then the welding helmet, screws, nuts, and bolts. You're in the process of placing the last item, a quart of oil, onto the shelf when you spot movement in one of the rear view mirrors hanging from a peg in the same section. The mirror faces the storefront window at an angle, and you catch a glimpse of someone walking past. Oh! Although skipping is the more accurate descriptor. Excuse me! Smash! Freaky. The town's furry, by the way. They swing their arms in wide arcs as far as they can go without dislocating their shoulders. Their movement is far from fluid. You find it rather clumsy and all too quick in comparison to the stiffness in their legs as they bring their knees to the same level as their chest with each hop. Almost like they're not sure how to operate their limbs. You assume it's a kid messing around. It's not uncommon for busy parents to let their restless children run around the shopping center. But you realize your mistake as they pass by the door. They're tall. Far too tall to belong to the height of a child. You also notice that they're wearing a bear mask that harbors an uncanny resemblance to the one you wore for your commercial shoots. Only, this one looks older, as if worn from time. Instead of soft light brown fur, this one is tinted the color of mildew. There's a tear in one of the eyes. A tear in one of the eyes. Probably about the length of your thumb. But worst of all are the eyes. Human, glassy, and bloodshot. It takes you a moment to realize they're humming. The sound is low and muffled, but you can still make out the lyrics of their impromptu melody. Oh, teddy bear, you've lost your way. Now your fur, it's almost rotting away. And the stuffing, you're dragging it along. Oh, teddy bear, which way have you gone? Now your fur, it's also wrong. The stuffing, you'll have none left before dawn. Oh, teddy bear, oh, sweet silly teddy bear. Is this what we have to say so long? You recognize the tune. It's the same one that you used to skip around while wearing that same exact bear mask on set. Wow, what a crazy quinky-dink. They turned it into a nursery rhyme instead of a jingle. Your hands begin to tremble. Fear threatens to consume you, your breathing becoming labored and unnatural. No. You swallow hard and tighten your grip on the box, using it as an anchor to quell the tremors. Oh, this is a weird choice. Are they one of the locals? Maybe they're a potential fan who knows I'm in the area. Yeah, maybe they're just a fan. Perhaps there's an event going on that I don't know about. Wow. Yeah, I would think one of the options would be to kill it. I'm in a hardware store. Grab a hammer, grab a saw, kill him. That's what my option would be. Okay, but we're gonna go with the most normal thing. Yeah, maybe they're a potential fan who just knows I'm in the area, you know? But the idea seems to both seems both like a stretch and the worst of the three. What kind of fan would do something like this? A deranged one. Yeah. The only kind you can think of are the ones you hear about on true crime podcasts. Are they one of the locals? Perhaps there's an event going on that I don't know about. Yeah. It's the most feasible, but they don't hold any cons in this area. And no travel buses would bring them here as a pit stop. It wouldn't make sense. Are they one of the locals? No one capable of pulling such a weird or creepy stunt comes to mind. It's Mom. They'd sooner be admonished by the townsfolk. Each time you debunk a possible justification for their odd behavior, the more your inner dread builds. Okay, but they're not walking past it. They're just staring at us now, right? At this point. It's fine. Whatever the reason, as long as they don't notice you and go on their merry way, it doesn't involve you. They might not even mean any harm. But the mimicry of your commercial says otherwise. You anxiously watch, silently encouraging them to keep moving. They're almost out of sight when the hit... Yeah, he's just the way. Hello there, I'm a fan. They're almost out of sight when they hit the end of the storefront window and your shoulders start to loosen just a fraction when they go completely and utterly still. You stop breathing. Their foot hovers in the air, toes pointed outward, before lowering their sneaker to the ground. The movement itself is slow, jerky, a sharp contrast from how they acted 2 seconds earlier. Their head ticks in your direction like a broken wind-up doll turning its head. They examine you, wait for a possible reaction. You refuse to give them one or give the hint that you've taken notice of them. They pivot with slow exaggeration before pressing themselves up against the window, peering inside while looking right to left before refocusing their attention on you. They bring their hand up and slightly lift their mask. You presume they're going to take it off, but instead they blow a puff of air onto the window, fogging it up. You squint as they bring up their pointer finger. They're writing something. I know you're watching me. Smiley face. Oh, okay, he's a chill guy. Your entire body goes cold as they wipe away the words and repeat their process of fogging up the window. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty obvious, bro. We're looking at each other in the eye right now. Want to play with me? I promise I'm more fun than your friend. Heart! Oh! Well, that's just rude to my friend. When's the last time you checked on him? Anyway, how do they know someone else is here with you? Wait. You suck in a harsh breath, and your head jerks towards the ceiling with your gnawing horror. You don't hear Max's footsteps anymore. Not even a creak. You drop your chin and finally spin towards the window, but the stranger is gone, leaving one last smiley face in their wake, with the eyes X'd out. You hurry to check the locks. Rattle. Thankfully, Max must have locked them after you entered. Thank God. With that concern out of the way, you head towards the back, rushing up the creaky wooden staircase. You burst through the loft door without warning. You stumble in your panic as one of your shoes catches on the wooden flooring. One of the panels lifted a centimeter higher than the other. Oh, come on, man! By some miracle, you manage to catch yourself. Max? Max? Your eyes do a quick scan of the surrounding area. There's a coffee-colored couch with a matching tea table in the dead center of the living room. Crumpled up paper litters the surrounding floor, scribbled with measurements for woodworking plans, as an abandoned easel sits tucked into a far-away corner. I hope the dev doesn't watch this and be like, why does he keep not saying the words properly? Fine, I'll fix them. Just know, I just like to make fun of them. I like to point them out. It makes it easier for developers, okay? Nah, developers don't watch my shit. Max's bedroom and bathroom are a straight shot from where you're standing, and a quick peek tells you that he's not here. Where is he? The image of the stranger in the bear mask standing over Max's corpse flashes through your mind. Oh my god. Unless Max is in the bear suit. Your breath comes quicker and you rush back down the steps, desperate to confirm he's okay, desperate to find him when your body slams into the hard form of another. The owner of said body lets out a grunt on impact. Whoa, easy there, Tater Tot. Max steadies you by grabbing your shoulders. Is everything okay? Your eyes are looking a little red. You clutch the front of his shirt as if to ground yourself while launching rapid-fire questions at him. Where were you? There was someone they asked when I last saw you, and... Hey, calm down. Deep breaths. One thing at a time, alright? A person, someone strange was loitering around the storefront. They were skipping around wearing a bear mask. Then they saw me and asked me through written messages weird shit like if I wanted to play and asked when the last time I heard you upstairs was. You pressed a hand to your forehead. I couldn't find you, so I started to panic. Are they still out there? No, they disappeared. I checked to make sure they were gone and the front door was locked before looking for you. Where were you? I heard a weird noise coming from outside in the back, so I went to check it out. Alone? The area is fenced off, remember? And we've got that nasty wiring, so it's impossible to climb over. Right. His grandfather was a paranoid man. Despite the seemingly safe environment of a town like Mapleweather, Max's grandfather didn't trust anyone and took extra precautions to show it. Based! Though with the person you just encountered, you're beginning to think he had the right idea. Did you find anything? Not really. He avoids your gaze while saying it. Why does it feel like he's hiding something from you? No, that's not important right now. I think we should call someone. I know they'll probably dismiss it as a prank, but we should at least make a report. We'll have to make one later. Right now, most everyone's in a town meeting. Ah, that would explain the lack of people milling about. You're ruminating over the best course of action to take when you notice Max staring at the front door while he thinks you're not paying attention. His lips are pressed into a tight line. Oh no. You know that look. That's the look of a man preparing to do something stupid. Max rarely gets angry enough to get physical. One rare such occurrence happened back in high school, where a classmate got under his skin, resulting in him taking the first swing and getting suspended. He never spoke of what the guy said, though you don't doubt Max had a justifiable reason for doing what he did. But it still doesn't negate the fact that Max is, no doubt, going to get himself injured or worse if he gets impulsive. Max? He blinks like he's registering the fact that you're still standing there. His fists loosen. There's an unwinding of his shoulders, and you know what he's going to say before he says it. Why don't you go upstairs and relax for a bit? I need to check on something. He heads towards the front. You follow close behind him, hot on his heels. Max, what exactly do you think you're doing? Nothing you need to worry about. Go upstairs, Tater Tot. You manage to circle him before throwing your arms out, using your body as a barrier to keep him from going any further. Oh no, you don't. We stick together. Haven't you learned from horror movies that nothing good ever comes from splitting up? He cocks his head and gives you a slight smile. It doesn't reach his eyes. Are you saying you're worried about me? Why wouldn't I be? Some strange person's out there skulking about and you're charging in headfirst without considering the worst case scenario or what their intentions are. You're always forgoing your own safety for the sake of others. Of course I'm worried. Max appears like he wants to say something but thinks better of it. Your brows furrow. There it is. It's that same look. The same one he wore back at the end when you said you were here for work. Max quickly conceals the emotions that your statement elicited, and instead responds to your earlier comment. I think you've got a few things mixed up, Tater Tot. I wouldn't do this for just anyone. I'm doing it because you're important to me, and I'd rather some creep not chase you out of town when you just got here. So please just let me take care of this. Well, the person you're doing this for would rather you not. I'll be fine. Look, I promise I can take care of myself. Just one loop around the block. No big deal. And I promise I'll be right behind you stepping on your heels. You're not coming with me. Cool, then neither of us are going. Glad we had this discussion. Don't you trust me? Trust has nothing to do with this. Don't even go there. You're really not gonna let me through, are you? You give him a dry look. No, I'm just standing around here, T-posing for fun. Then you're really not going to like what I'm about to do next. What are you— Max! One moment your feet are planted firmly on the ground, and the next you're getting hauled over one of Max's shoulders like a bale of hay. Upsy daisy. Max says as he marches straight towards the back. Max, what the actual fuck? You struggle to break free from his hold, but his muscled arm refuses to budge. He doesn't even break sweat from how much you're thrashing around. What does he do? Deadlift cows in his spare time. Max goes on, though this is a normal interaction. T-posing did not work out. Oh, how the tables have turned. The turntables. I've got sodas, water, and beer in the fridge. There's a few things you can cobble together to make a sandwich if you're hungry. If you need to use the bathroom, you'll need to hold down the lever or it won't flush all the way. Let's see. What else? You're going to kill him. If that vaguely threatening stranger then doesn't, then you're actually going to shake him around like a rag doll. Not with your hands, with your teeth. Those are some violent thoughts. You may have also spoken aloud. Max plops you right at the entrance of his loft. His body moves faster than the speed of light, because as soon as he puts you down, you gun for the door to keep him from closing it. But you're too late as Max retreats a single step and seals the door shut. Try rattling at the doorknob. You tell Max must be holding it from the other side, and you can hear him messing around. Max, open this damn door. What's the password? This isn't funny. Open this door before I kick your ass. Oof, sorry. That was a trick question. There is no secret password. Now sit tight. I'll see you in a bit. You pound harder at the wood before throwing your full weight against the door. Hey, yo, I'm pounding wood? What? Max, let me out of here. I'm sorry, that wording is not lost on me, okay? Jesus Christ. You hear him whistling to himself and the thump of his boots on the staircase as he heads downstairs. The whistling fades and you can hear a soft jingle from the front door of the store opening and closing, leaving you stuck until he returns. Yo, Sammy, what's up? If he returns. You're trying not to be pessimistic, but that stranger from earlier set off major warning bells, because they knew you, or at least knew of you. They'd known Max was with you. They'd even gone as far as copying the costume you wore for your commercials, and then rewrote the jingle about a bear winding up gutted after getting lost. It felt like a threat, and now Max was walking straight towards the person who made it. You pull out your cell phone trying to dial Max's old number, something you thankfully remember by heart even after all this time, but to your horror, the line never picks up. For some reason in this tiny makeshift apartment, there's no signal. It's easier for him when he kidnaps people and locks them up, like you. You can't make any outgoing calls. Okay, so he left me behind with no signal, and if Winnie the Pooh breaks in with the intent to murder me, I'm shit out of luck. That guy had no pants on? Brilliant plan, Max. Love to see you think things through. You know you're being harsh, but he forcibly locked you in a room with no way out. But didn't you try blocking him from leaving? What's the difference between using your body and a door? The quiet voice inside your head asks. You close your eyes and rest your forehead against the slab of wood barricading you inside. Because I wasn't trying to get myself killed. Maybe that's all the difference. You're not entirely angry because you're stuck here, though it doesn't help. You're angry because he's acting on an impulse to protect you, which is a detriment to himself and his own well-being, if this person is as unhinged as they appear to be. Like he's throwing away his life for nothing, all because he thinks he can take care of everything on his own. Even when he fell off the roof, he brushed off both yours and Patty's concerns. This is so frustrating. Your nails dig into the wood. Just, what are you thinking out there all by yourself? You're not sure how much time has passed since Max locked you up here. Your arms are wrapped around your legs with your back pressed to the door after a failed attempt at pulling off the knob, when you hear a familiar thump of boots. You go to stand upright as Max swings open the door. So I couldn't find any trace of him, but it looks like they're no longer... Whoa, hey, where are you going? You push past Max and head down the staircase. You refuse to say anything or even look at him. Your hands balled up into fists as you descend. Hang on now. Just wait a second. He follows after you and goes to grab your shoulder when you reach the middle of the store. You jerk away in response. You have nothing to say to him right now. Please, just talk to me. There's a desperate plea in his voice. When you continue to walk away, you can hear him whisper something underneath his breath. Please don't leave me again. You pause. You don't know if you heard him right. What was that? It's nothing. I said nothing. He's lying and you turn to face him, watching as his gaze remains locked on a shelf off to the side. I just wanted you to talk to me. That's all. You scoff. And why should I when you don't listen? When my words seem to hold no value in the first place. But it wasn't that big of a deal for me. I'm fine, see? Well, locking me up for who knows how long and the possibility of you getting hurt is a big deal to me. Like when you fell off the roof, it's like you couldn't give a shit if you live or die. Why can't you just... You shake your head in frustration before spitting out the words. Why can't you just care about yourself more? The words burst out of your chest, and they come out louder than intended, but you don't regret saying them. You admit that you love how Max deeply cares for others, but it also terrifies you due to the major lack of balance he has when it comes to his own self-interest. Like he'd destroy himself just to make others happy. The very thought rattles you, shakes you to your core. Max remains quiet for a moment before he angles his head to the side. Well, the answer to that is simple. An unsettling gleam flashes behind those familiar forest green eyes of his, a cold detachment sweeping just beneath the surface. You take a reflexive step back. Because I don't. If I die, it doesn't really matter all that much to me. But when it comes to you, he shakes his head. I don't care about my safety or well-being. That's a fact. But to me, as long as you're breathing, as long as you're safe, nothing else matters. Because if you weren't... He steps into you and brushes your cheek with the backs of his knuckles as he bends down and turns his lips towards your ear. His voice is a gentle murmur. The world could not handle me or the thing that I become. The air rushes out of your lungs at the intensity of his confession, a stark contrast to his soft and gentle touch. You swallow hard. For some reason, the memory of Max saying that anyone could become a monster under the right set of circumstances comes rushing back to you. Were you his reason? The thing that could tip him over the edge? Or is he just being dramatic? You genuinely can't tell. I need to be admitted into a psych ward or something at that point. Maybe you're hoping that's not the case. I think it's the latter. You try to calm the frantic and unsteady beat of your heart and turn your face slightly towards his. He's so close you can see the flecks of gold in his irises, feel the body heat radiating off of him in waves. And if that makes me uncomfortable? You ask, your voice quiet. I avoid doing most things that make you uncomfortable where I can help it. But not when it comes to your safety. That's my one non-negotiable. So even if that means I have to do things that'll end up making you hate me, I'll do it. Whatever it takes, I'm going to do everything in my power to keep you safe. You realize how insane that sounds, right? Insane? MC, you sound weird, man. Isn't this what just like every... Well, I mean, to be fair, we're not in a loving relationship, but even for a best friend, that's not too weird. I mean, it's pretty obvious he likes us a lot. Was he always this intense? You don't remember seeing this side of him before. But most of your days growing up were carefree and lacked any actual risk. Maybe he's right. Maybe there are things you don't know about him. I guess you can say it does. I think this is quite normal for a man and their loved ones, to be fair. But if I ever have to see you die... He cuts himself off as though he's wary of sharing too much and his gaze shudders. If anything were to happen to you, I know myself well enough to know I couldn't handle a world without you in it. And why do my feelings not matter if I ever have to see the same happen to you? It's because it's clear you can live without me. You balk. Is that what he really thinks? I mean, we did start this off by saying we spent months away with him without even a single thought towards him. But, you know, whatever, you know. But yes, the conviction in his voice betrays his honest feelings. Do you really think I not think I care about you? So I'd be fine if you died? He drags his gaze to the floor, and you can tell whatever he's thinking is linked to what he tried hiding from you back at the end. I mean, you wouldn't have even known if he died. The same tortured expression comes over him. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. No, Max, tell me what you're really thinking. He shakes his head. He still won't look at you. I don't think that's a good idea. We should just take a breather for the night. Max, we'll run into the same cycle if we don't address it. No, you're already stressed. You've had a long day and you see that? That is the entire problem. You say, interrupting his stream of words. My wants over yours, my needs over yours, my feelings over yours, my life over yours. Max, I'm not uncomfortable because you want to keep me safe. Aside from the obvious and you locking me into a room to, quote, protect me, unquote, I'm uncomfortable because you're doing everything to the detriment of yourself and your own well-being. For once in your life, just do what you think is the selfish thing and tell me what's on your mind. Stop worrying about what I'll think. He shakes his head, taking a step back, but you refuse to let him fall into the same old habits. Did he not just explain his reasoning? Because if he keeps going, he will get himself killed. You grab onto his wrists. Not hard enough to hurt him, but enough to keep him from pulling away completely. Max, just talk to me, please. He bites his lip. So hard, in fact, you think he's going to break skin. He closes his eyes, opens them. Looks everywhere else but you. You've never confronted him about this before, and never forced him to show his hand. But witnessing death and imagining it happening to your friend is a powerful thing, especially when you know you can stop it. You won't sit idly by. With a stranger, you couldn't do anything. But with Max, you damn well know you can. So you wait, and you wait. Till finally the pressure from your shared silence and the weight of your hand gets to him, and the dam that Max was holding in breaks. I know you can live without me. Max says, and his gaze collides with yours. His voice cracks. I know you can live without me, because you never once came to visit Mapleweather after you left for the city. And when you do, it's for a job. Not to see me, not to see anyone else. A job. Max lets out a quiet bark of self-deprecating laughter, like he can't believe he's admitting this. He scrubs a hand down his face before bulldozing on. And I get it. I do. I really do. You deserve to have everything you've ever wanted, and I never want to take that away from you. But not even one call, not even one goodbye, not even one hint at where you were going or how I could get a hold of you after you left. I spent the entire day after graduation tearing the town apart in my search for you when none of my calls went through the next morning. I thought something happened to you. I was scared shitless, and I couldn't take it. My head kept going towards the worst case scenarios, figuring that you'd wound up injured or were in the hospital or left for dead. I went near insane only to find out through the grapevine that you up and left when your parents kicked you out. So then I calmed down and waited for you to reach out. I figured you needed time to settle down. Time to gather your bearings and adjust to your new routine and new way of life. It was understandable. But then days of waiting became weeks. Weeks became months. And time kept marching on. You never called. I have forced myself to accept the reality of never hearing from you again. Of never seeing your smile, or hearing your laugh, or feeling your anger, or talking about your day, or all the little moments that made my world just a bit brighter. He tears a hand through his hair, his ponytail coming loose like a spool of thread unraveling. It looks like he's trying not to cry. You say I'm your best friend. You say you care about me. But if that were true, then you would have contacted me. You would have given me something to work with. I'm not saying you had to. If you wanted to cut me off, then okay. I get it. Maybe I did something to warrant that reaction, and I needed to deal with the consequences. But now I'm struggling with the concept of you saying that you care about me, when what you've said and done are two wholly separate things. I genuinely can't make sense of it. Max, No, don't. He shakes his head. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like you pity me. I'm not some childhood pet you left behind, tater tot. I'm a man who's been sitting here in the wake of your absence, wondering what I did to push you away from me. Wondering what I did that didn't help you feel as I was a safe enough space to communicate those feelings with me. The last thing I want from you is pity. You stand there, processing the truth of his feelings, his unfiltered honesty. You're putting your own grievances from earlier aside, because he's finally opening up. From start to finish, ever since you were kids, he's been your best friend, and you want to work through this with him. You can address your own qualms later. Not to mention, he isn't entirely wrong. Not in this regard, anyway. Alright. Then what do you want, Max? No matter how selfish you may think it is, no matter how it affects me or anyone else, what do you want? His eyes go to your lips. They linger, and the intent behind the message is clear. His pupils become blown, swallowing up the whole of the iris. Sorry, I need to drink some water. I mean it when I say you really don't want me to act on those impulses. Yes, I do. Smash. You want him to act on his first impulse. You want him to kiss you. Or he needs to act on a different impulse, a different need. Oh, wait, is that like... Wait. Is this like... This need is written, you know, a little funky. Is that... Clock explain man thoughts? I'm confused. So I don't know if you know this, but if you have a childhood friend that's a dude, it's like 90% chance he likes you. At some point he liked you. And in this case, he loves you. Okay? And as the MC, we care for him, the big strong man, and we don't want him to get murdered by the teddy bear slasher outside. However, big strong man knows there's no cops to call, okay? So big strong man childhood friend says, I'm gonna go fucking kill that thing. BRB. Not to say that the MC's thoughts aren't valid, like their reasoning isn't valid, by the way. Not to say that they're not, like, valid to be like, hey, you need to not maybe rush after a stranger that might be a murderer. But at the same time, in my honest opinion, this guy's jacked. He has a tool belt of essentially weapons in his hands. And the teddy bear slasher didn't seem to have anything on him. And there's no cops, so... It's not like you're just gonna sit in your apartment for hours without, like, and just, like, look out the window scared. So I do think it's the right choice what he did. Personally speaking, I think it's the right choice. Personally, if it was me, something like that, and I could do this sort of, like, if I had, like, this, like, arsenal of weapons and tools, basically, I mean, the reaction is kind of normal. Even if you're not dating this person, if you care enough deeply for them, I think it's a reasonable reaction. Hi. Bye, Bryce, by the way. Hi, guys. Chat, do you think kissing, or do you think this need is fucking, by the way? I wouldn't just sit there if us two were in an apartment store alone. I mean, that's true, by the way. That's true. Like, totally understandable. Like, you'd want to go with him. However, you know, I think it's pretty obvious that bringing, like, in this case, I'm playing a girl, so I'm gonna just go with the thought that we're, like, a dainty girl that can get literally picked up by a man easily and then thrown over his shoulder. So I'm imagining we're pretty dainty. This ain't Scooby-Doo where, you know, splitting up leads to bad things. No. This is if you come with me, you're a detriment to my safety now. Like, if you come with me, now I have to defend you and fight the guy if I meet the guy. So that's just stupidity. Just, no, you're not coming with me. You know, that's how I would see it. I believe that's how that's how Max sees it. That's just what I think. I love how we're sitting on this kiss screen. Chat. Do you think that different need is fucking? Do you think that's sex? Think that's sex? I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna see what happens. We saved, right? Yeah, we saved. Okay, find out. Well, don't mind if I fuck around. There's gotta be something out there that you want. You slowly turn around in the shop, casting your gaze from shelf to shelf. It then snags onto the stickers. Then once you both slapped onto the front counter as kids, tilt your head, noticing the horse first before everything else takes shape around it, and the sun's stark clarity hits with jarring force. Oh. The memory of when Max wanted to become an artist, someone who found passion and freedom of expression, goes from grayscale to colored hues. You realize just how much of himself he holds back for the sake of other people. You remember the abandoned easel gathering dust tucked away in the corner of his loft, and its blank canvas. You imagine a younger Max standing there instead, his gaze cast to the floor, alone, all by himself. Your voice is quiet, soft when you speak. What happened to your dreams of becoming an artist, Max? His gaze flickers to the side. I think we picked the wrong option, by the way. We'll have to come back to that one, Chad. If you have anyone to blame, blame dumb Catboy. You've struck a nerve and watch as his gaze shudders at the mere mention of art. Everyone needed me here, and so did my dad. But I like the shop and what I do. I like my work. When it comes to art, I just don't have time for it anymore. In other words, I don't have time to make room for myself anymore. You move towards the front counter, your gaze trained on that sticker of the watercolor horse painted in all different hues. You got these from him back when you were kids. They're cheap stickers, something you can easily get out of the bargain bin. But they have wear and tear. You realize he must have applied something to them in order to make them last longer. Possibly because they reminded him of you, but also, no doubt, because of their meaning outside of that. You turn towards Max, your fingertips lingering on the counter, and he flinches at the intensity reflected in your unwavering gaze. I get that life gets in the way of the things you love sometimes, but that's not the real reason, is it? I think you're lying to both me and yourself. I'm not, Tater Tot. I didn't need art anymore. I grew out of it. It's as simple as that. His denial makes your heart give a painful squeeze. Your hand tightens into a fist. It kills you, seeing him like this and the dismissal of himself. Once upon a time, Max marched to the beat of his own drum, going out of his way to show the world who he was. The Max you knew before you both hit your teen years was never afraid to be himself, and the sticker-covered counter is proof of that. Sure, he was still kind and helpful, reliable if he ever called for help, but he also didn't put the pieces of himself aside just so others could stay glued together. He loved what he loved, hated what he hated, and would express that through any means necessary, because he wanted the world to see the color of his soul. He used to paint with them, scribble them in markers, highlighters, colored pencils, scream in violent reds, cry out in harsh blues, whisper in gentle yellows, create bitter shades from when nothing else would do. You want to see that side of him again, the one who comes to life with his art. The part of himself that he deemed unnecessary because it was too selfish, too vibrant and loud. Something he says he doesn't need anymore. But the truth is that he does. Because that boy, that part of him, is what he needs in order to return his sense of self-care and self-worth. To break out the molds others tried to form for him. To let flowers grow between the broken ceramic instead. And he needs this part of himself brought back to life so desperately, so necessarily, that you gently offer a hand out to the boy that you used to know as a lifeline. If that were really true, then why did you keep these? Because they reminded me of you. That's not the only reason, Max, and we both know it. You tap the stickers. You used to make things on your own. To put your own stamps on them. To make a mark on the world in your own way. Consequences be damned. I didn't notice it until now, but... I sneezed. Sorry. You tap the watercolor horse in particular, the one that brought everything out into the light. You organize them to form a collage. Memories from that summer and long before that. Things that stuck out to you. Adventures you used to go on. Things that breathed life into you. Max, what happened to the boy who used to live for himself too? You fully face him now. His eyes are cast to the ground and his hair is covering his face. Bills happened, by the way. The boy who viewed the world in depths of gold. The boy who lived life not just for the sake of making others happy, but for himself. Did he just up and vanish, or did you lock that part of yourself into a corner, just like that easel? You take a step forward. He takes a step backwards. He shakes his head and whispers something you don't hear. A soft, don't. As you continue to push on, are you trying to avoid him? Trying to wait things out and hope that time ultimately destroys all the truths you can't admit to yourself, letting him gather up dust instead? He sucks in a sharp breath. Take another step towards Max, and Max responds with another step backwards. He stumbles into a shelving unit. A can of spray paint falls to the ground on impact, rolls until it hits your feet. You pick it up, continuing to press on. Because I know he's still in there, Max. I know he's waiting for you to take the first step forward to acknowledge that he still exists. That he's still trying to reach out to you. And that no matter how many times you try to push him and shove him away, that he'll always be there, hoping that one day you'll let him out. Enough. His voice pierces through your words, like a fisher cutting through glass. Max scrubs a hand down his face as you fall silent. Please, just stop. You let your hand drift to your side and you realize he's breathing hard. Let him take the time to collect himself. Your words got to him. Don't know if it was too much, but seeing him put himself in danger broke something inside of you. Couldn't hold yourself back. Almost like you were compelled by some innate force to keep going until you reached him. This is the depth of your care for him. This is the depth of your... Oh. Romantic. You understand that now. Max clears his throat. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have shouted like that. Okay, wait. I just want to... I want to go back to see if it's just like a really quick thing, or if it's a different route altogether, the kiss. I can't imagine the kiss turns into this. I can't... Does it? Chat, do you want... No. I'm gonna wait. We're going back there. We're going back for the kiss later, okay? We're going back for the kiss later. Sorry. That's not something you should apologize for, Max. I'm sorry I pushed you as far as I did. Your hand tightens around the can of spray paint. Can't help but imagine Max taking things to the extremes like that man who ended his life did. You don't know what the man's reasoning was. But you don't need to in order to see and fear that the track Max is barreling down could wind up at the same stop. Or that you'd do anything to protect him from meeting the same cruel fate. I love and care about you, Max. I don't really understand it myself, what drove me to lose all contact with you. And that's not an excuse, and I know that. But still, you cover the distance between you two and gently take his hand and place this can of spray paint in his open palm. Curl his fingers around the canister, and smile when his gaze ultimately meets yours. I'm here now, and I want to rectify that by doing what I can to close that gap. You're my best friend, Max. And whenever you're ready to express that part of yourself again, to let that part of yourself that you think selfish or unnecessary to see the light again, squeeze his hand. I'll be ready and waiting, cheering you on every step of the way. That much I promise you. Max searches your gaze for a moment, and then you can see it like a firefly lighting up the forest. The spark of something that was lost, now found. His lips soften to the hint of a smile, and his hand squeezes the can, the words taking shape in his eyes before they form from his mouth. Thank you, Tater Tot. Really. Tension in the room dissipates, one of your bridges mended. Take a step back from him, glance towards the door. You got so lost in the moment, you almost forgot the point of contention that started it all. That person in the bear mask. Well, at least they didn't break into the store and start stabbing us out of nowhere while we were in the middle of that argument. That would have been an awkward conclusion. Not very satisfying either. You're just glad you finally got the chance to sort out your issues. And while you can't solve everything out in one night, you're on the path to getting there. Communication is one hell of a thing. Max clears his throat and turns to you. I love that we made it about him. 10 out of 10. Max clears his throat and turns to you, offering a solution to your worries about getting back to the inn and running into that strange person again. Since we probably won't be able to get a hold of the authorities until tomorrow, maybe we should put a pause on our outing and exchange it for a day in. I can make you something upstairs. We can watch a movie. Or we could just continue talking. I don't really know if I want to continue our conversation from before, but I do know I want to catch up with you. I mean, damn. He chuckles to himself and it feels almost carefree, like a glimpse of the boy you remember from your childhood. You're practically a celebrity, and I've never once gotten to see any of your works. Not a single commercial that I can record and show in a town meeting at a later date. I think that's an awful shame, don't you? Why don't we put a pin in that? I'm sure they got more pressing matters. Is there something you're ashamed of, Tater Tot? Something you're hiding from me? Weren't you going on a tangent earlier about how we should be honest with ourselves? This little shit is using your early words against you. We still haven't explained our problems, like, at all, by the way. We're, like... Like, he had a very genuine reason, by the way, that we just did not account for at all, by the way. Like, we just like, he had a very genuine argument, and we just said, we're not talking about me today, bitch. Damn. But you also know it's him wanting to lighten the mood, and honestly, you do too. So you fold your arms over your chest and step into him. You're ready to give him hell from earlier. Fine. I accept the invitation to hang out in your loft on one condition. And what's that, Tater Tot? His gaze is both teasing and utterly affectionate. You smirk. I'll follow you up there as so long as you don't lock me up in your loft again. Deal? He has enough self-awareness to appear sheepish, that you doubt that he regrets his decision. It's no doubt something you'll have to work out of him. Don't do it, bro. It's obvious you care about him, that it makes you want to become stronger, to become someone he can rely on, not have to worry about. Someone he can open up his genuine feelings to, no matter what they may entail. We need to get you a gun. But he clears his throat before offering you up an apologetic smile. Anything I can do to make it up to you. He rocks on his heels, threading his thumbs through his belt loops. I'll think of a couple things, Mr. Ackerman. Ah, so I've lost first name privileges, huh? Damn right, you gotta earn that shit back. You say as you both head past the counter, through the open door, and towards the wooden staircase that creaks with every step. Max barks out a laugh, tossing his head back. You think I'm joking? Shakes his head as he follows up behind you, his hand resting on the banister. His eyes glitter with both amusement and sincerity. Not at all, Tater Tot. I'll work on earning back your favor. That's what I thought. You're unable to hide your returning smile as you ascend the steps. I feel like something horrible is going to happen. Greek. I'm going back. Never mind. You know what? Nah. Before this, what I think is gonna happen, we're going back for the kissing scene because I have a very, I feel like I know what's gonna happen. So let's go kissy kiss. Let's go kissy kiss. No, finish it. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I don't think you guys want to know what's gonna happen. I don't think you guys realize what's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna go back to the kiss. You want him to act on his first impulse. You want to kiss him. You want him to kiss you. Try me. You say and lift your chin, forcing him to either fold or take out what he wants. His eyes widen in response. His gaze searches yours like he's waiting for you to tell him you're joking, his breath coming quicker when he realizes you're not. You can see his pulse thumping against his neck. You're sure about this? I know what I said, Max. Your words are a challenge as he enters your personal space, his hands rising to cup your cheeks. Your ass cheeks. They tremble slightly, and his thumb brushes against the curve of your cheekbone, his Adam's apple bobbing as he swallows. His face draws near. It's not hard to tell that he's nervous. Can't help but notice the irony. He's sure hesitant for a guy who talks big. Tell me to stop right now, then I'll stop. You have my full permission right now, so don't stop and just keep going. Your gazes lock and his thumb shifts, sweeping over your bottom lip as if entranced. Then he moves his thumb aside before finally brushing his lips over yours, gentle and light. Shift closer to each other as you kiss, tentative and achingly slow. Uncertain but curious. Max's hand slips from your cheeks to your waist and your arms wind around his shoulders. Soft sigh slips out and you feel Max go still upon hearing the sound, his eyes narrowing, those hands on your hips tightening. Something inside of him snaps. You're left gasping as the tentative kiss goes from a gentle hesitance to a raging inferno when Max's muscular arms encircle you, pushing you backwards into a set of shelves. He's on you now. It's intense. Borderline frantic and desperate. You're left gasping for air as you somehow find yourself away from the shelves and you're back flat on the counter. The heck just happened? Okay. Okay. I really hope a girl thinks that, you know, we're making out with her, going crazy, like super passionate. The heck just happened? Your mind is swimming after that kiss. Max stands, leaning over you. His hair tickles your cheek and you blink at him, wondering what's going on, why he stopped kissing you. The veins that course along the length of Max's arm pops out as he tenses, the hands gripping your wrists flexing with the movement. It's clear he's trying to restrain himself, though you don't understand why. What's wrong? Do you want to stop? Maybe need was the better word from the looks of him. Max swallows hard as he shakes his head, clearly wanting more of you. Aye. Clears his throat and looks off to the side. I just need a minute. I didn't realize it would be like this. I feel like my head is spinning and I want this to be good for you. His eyes finally meet yours. Especially since it's you. I didn't encourage you to be selfish, Max. This is me being selfish. He admits with a soft chuckle, sends a pleasant reverberation throughout your body. The thumb of his left hand gently circles at your pulse. Your blood sings in response. I guess I just thought I'd have more time to adjust since I've never done this before. Go on a few dates and share a few kisses in between. That sort of thing. So I could build myself up. Prepare myself when the time came. I never thought our first kiss would be this intense. Or that she'd want to become physically intimate with me at all. Oh yeah, Bear Mask is watching. Hard on. Jealous as fuck. What did you think it would be like? Our first kiss, I mean. Shy. Soft. Cute. Maybe even a little bit clumsy. Shoots you a sheepish smile, all boyish charm. I probably watched one too many romances based on that assumption. But I'm still happy because I'm doing this with you. Max moves from your wrist to go trace one of the stickers on the countertop with his pointer finger, his lips curving into a nostalgic smile. You follow the path of his gaze. You know, I'm surprised how long these stickers have lasted. That's because I added a sealant to them. I asked my dad for help in order to apply properly. Your dad was okay with that? You figured taking them off would have been nothing short of a nightmare, and... Tips of his ears turned a darker shade of red. I think he knew I had a huge crush on you, even back then. Wait, really? Sort of feel like the densest person on the planet for not noticing. But then again, you were focusing all of your efforts into school, helping your dad at his workshop, and doing fun things in your spare time. You weren't really thinking about romance. I figured it was obvious with the stunts I used to pull. He laughs to himself, and God, it's such an open and carefree expression. He's writing a thesis on the window. He's so jealous right now. Oh, he's writing the fanfic. He's writing this. Almost like the sun is coming out for the very first time. Makes your heart ache realizing you've never seen him look like this. Like admitting he actually has feelings for you, has lifted a weight off his shoulders. No doubt because he was worried it would ruin the friendship. It looks good on him. And the ant farm was one of those attempts. I don't know why 9-year-old me thought making one would impress you. Kid logic, I guess. He shakes his head with an embarrassed laugh. But anyway, yeah. I had a crush on you. And I'm pretty sure he knew, given that you'd given these to me for my birthday. I wanted to keep them somehow. I just didn't know the best way to go about it, so he agreed to help. Taps the sticker of a swan. He can't hear anything, he's just watching, so he's like writing his little fanfic on the mirror, imagining what they're saying. He taps the sticker of a swan painted in watercolor, but all you can think of is the gesture itself. These were cheap stickers sold at the dollar bin. He bought them on a whim, and Max likely had seen them before himself because there's not a lot of shops in town. He had to know they didn't cost much, and yet... Max? You said you thought our first kiss would be soft and sweet. Can I give you one of those now? You momentarily stunned the man. You practically hear the dial-up noises going off in his head. Wait, I don't understand. What brought this on? You don't have to understand. Just know that I want to. Is that okay with you? You sit up, resting your weight on your elbows as Max adjusts to give you enough room, his gaze searching yours. It's clear he doesn't understand where this sudden request came from, but he softens all the same. Of course, it's okay. You can kiss me, Tater Tot. Permission granted. You push yourself upright into a sitting position, your legs still dangling off the counter on either side of Max's waist. Go to cup his face, feeling the smooth curve of his flushed cheeks. His ass cheeks. The affect you have on him is instantaneous. Melts under your touch, nuzzles into your palm before kissing it with gentle reverence, his large hand folding over yours. Max squeezes the tips of your fingers, spots your expression, and mistakes it for hesitance. Go ahead, Tater Tot. He murmurs with aching tenderness, pulling the strings of your heart taut. I'm ready. Just tell me when to stop, okay? You say right before you close the gap and sweep your lips against his, the kiss feather light. Max's fingers twitch. You can hear his quiet intake of breath. Then his hand squeezes yours again before he allows himself to follow in tandem. His eyes flutter closed. Cradles you close to his chest, and it's the safest you've ever felt. Neither of you seek to reignite the blazing inferno from before, a fire meant only to devour and consume everything in its path. Instead, you both sink into the gentle warmth that managed to bloom in the wake of its ashes. When you finally part, Max rests his forehead against yours. He looks dazed, but utterly blown away. And that was He huffs out of breath. What is happening? We're kissing this guy. We're kissing him. We're sloppy making out right now. Sorry if you didn't understand the words I'm saying. He huffs out of breath before hitting me with a devastating smile. That was perfect. How are you feeling now? Have you calmed down enough to continue, or you trail off wanting to know where his comfort lies? Would you hate me if I were to admit that kiss made me want to wait? Oh, how come? You're not angry or upset, simply curious about his sudden change of heart. Maybe we should just leave it at that for the night. Come on, Max. You say, giving him a nudge of encouragement as he tries to fall back into his old habits. Remember what I said earlier? No matter how selfish you may think it is, tell me what you want. Max rests his forehead against your shoulder. His arms are braced on the countertop, and you can tell he's battling with himself on whether or not to open it up about it. You don't push him like you did earlier. He's opened up once tonight, and that was a pretty big step for him after all things considered. You're not even sure if he had a right to push him as far as he did thanks to the points that he brought up earlier. But it does beg the question, what stopped you from contacting Max as soon as you left town? Did life really just get in the way? Was there a solid reason? But every time I try thinking about it, it's almost like... Max distracts you from sorting your thoughts out by planting a single kiss against your neck, one of his hands moving to touch your waist. Max? You can hear him swallow. It sounds painful, almost like he's got a bed of nails stuck in his throat. Max, what's wrong? I think... No. I know that if we have sex, I don't want it to be a one-time thing. I want a relationship. I want a commitment. I want dates. I want... He trails off as he pulls his face away from your neck, his hand shifting from your hip down to your knee, like he can't help but find comfort in your body, your presence. Like it anchors him to get through saying what he needs to say next. Dead or Todd, I want you. But I also want to do what feels right for me, because I don't want to wake up one morning and find my sheets cold because you're not there, and that you've left again. I need to know. I need to wake up with the knowledge that I'm not going to lose you again. Because if we cross all those lines, if I know what it's like to know you in the most physically intimate way you can know another person, I know my heart couldn't take it. It was already hard enough the first time with just my unrequited feelings. But losing myself in you would be like getting high from a drug that I'd end up searching for the rest of my life if your heart's not in it. If we're not on the same page, that's fine. I just want you to know that's where my head is at. He trails off, leaving you with a lot to unpack and process. Did you want to be in a relationship with Max? You go to answer, but he presses his thumb against your lips to keep you from talking. He smiles with complete sincerity. Don't worry. I'm not looking for an answer right now. It wouldn't be fair to expect you to, given the day you've had, especially since you've just got here. I want you to be able to choose me when you've been given enough thought and time to think it all over before you decide. I'd want us, he says as his hand moves to brush your cheek with the backs of his knuckles, to have the best chance possible, the best start possible, because I'd really, really, really like to keep you. At least if that's all right with you. Talk about dropping lines that could make anyone swoon off this countertop. But you realize that he's right. You shouldn't say yes or no on a whim, and it's best to consider everything he's just told you. Alright, Max. I'll take some time to give it some thought. Gives you a heart-stopping smile and moves to press a gentle kiss to your forehead. One that's full of sincerity and one what you can only describe as filled with adoration, left completely unchecked. There's no doubt left in your mind. This man loves you. Thank you. He murmurs against your skin before drawing back again to help you down off the counter. I'm just gonna hit the skip button because I do believe we've gotten onto the same line of we've gotten back on track after the kissing round. So now we can get back to that going up those stair steps. Oh, he coughs. Maybe cuddle. Oh wait, I can make you something upstairs. We could watch a movie. He coughs. Maybe cuddle. What was that? Just got a frog in my throat. So what do you say? Well, you did say you wanted to catch up with him, and while this wasn't exactly what you planned, you decide to go with the flow. As long as you don't lock me in your loft again. He has enough self-awareness to appear sheepish that you doubt he regrets his decision. Gonna have to workshop that shit out of him. You'd rather be his equal and stand beside him and let him do all of the heavy lifting. Hey, you know, sometimes in a relationship, you know, I like to say that everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and you gotta fill in those gaps, man. You know, to fill in this gap, you gotta buy a gun. You know, okay? So just get that and you're his equal, you know? Whatever. And you genuinely care about him enough that... Get training, by the way. I don't ever actually recommend buying a gun unless you have training and you don't have any mental issues. And you genuinely care about him enough that it makes you want to become stronger. Someone he can rely on and not have to worry about. Anything I can do to make it up to you. Okay, I'm gonna skip again. Okay, we're going back up the stairs and we're having a bit of a laugh. That's... I hope you haven't forgotten, okay? What's gonna happen next? Creak. Drip. Creak. Drip. Huh? What's that dripping noise? The sound gives you pause. You stop in your tracks listening for a moment to discover that it sounds like it's coming from underneath the staircase. Oh, God, dude. Oh. I'm just gonna say this. Open staircases? Nah, that's horror film peak right there. Is something wrong? No, I just keep hearing this weird dripping sound. Do you hear it? Max listens for it. Ah, I forgot about that. It's just a leaky pipe. Don't pay too much mind. I'm planning to fix it later when I get the chance. Alright, but if this is another ploy to trap me in your apartment via flooding, I'm using you as a floaty device. You resume your climb until you reach the top of the steps before turning to point threateningly at Max. No funny business. Please, no. Max holds up his hands in mock surrender as he steps into the apartment. No funny business from now on. The door clicks shut behind him. I promise. Don't do it! Don't do it! Do not show me a fucking teddy bear in there. Drip. 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 Oh. That's not so bad. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with this. Honestly, oh, he's just the teddy bear. We're good. We're good. Drip. Drip. Colt Ackerman, Max's father. City Hall in Mapleweather, Connecticut. Town meeting. An immense pressure builds between the bridge of his nose and his eyes. He tries pinching it to soothe the ache. Nothing helps. Are you alright there, Colt? Colt Ackerman, former owner of Ackerman Hardware and father to Max Ackerman, nods despite the fact that he's not. He hasn't been ever since he went out in the woods. What's in the woods? The damned foxes were getting into Neil's chicken coop again, so we figured he'd try warding them off with a few nasty scents to deter their antics. It was the most humane way he could think. You know, maybe just a better fence. Maybe, no, okay. It's expensive, I guess. Meanwhile, old Billy kept complaining that he needed a gunshot between the eyes. Okay, Billy. Okay, Billy, calm down. Fucking Billy, man. But the point was, Colt refused and did things his own way. He'd started circling the long stretch of Neil's expansive property, about 12 acres before he'd seen it. Trail of blood. Specks here and there that led Colt to furiously believe Billy had taken it upon himself to shoot those foxes. Followed that trail, only to discover the horror from where the blood originated. No matter how many times he closes his eyes, he can still see it, smell it. Choke on the stench of decaying flesh, simmering underneath the heat of the summer sun. They died a terrible death. Their jaw was open, locked in an eternal scream, with their eyes glazed over. 50 years. 50 years of peace, and now... Colt blows out a steadying breath as the townsfolk argue about seemingly innocuous things. Which roads to fix when they're holding the county fair, what fundraisers they're going to do for the schools next year. Yo, Sweet Scheme! Hi! Thanks for the raid! Much appreciated. Nice to see you. I hope you had a good stream. We're playing we're playing an adult visual novel. Yeah. Kind of a scary one. I hope you had a good one, though. What were you playing? Which roads? Okay, school next year. It's an endless stream before there's a click of dress shoes. Not work boots, but stepping up to the podium. The mayor has arrived. And they sweep their gaze across the room as everyone quiets to a hush. Shelley appears taken by surprise. The hell are they doing here? Did you know about this? Are you bottoming again? I would never. I'm a top, okay? I'm cosplaying Max right now. I'm cosplaying the main character. The main love interest. Colt doesn't respond. It's not common for the town mayor to take part in these gatherings. Usually they're tucked away in their office, but today they're here on his behalf, and because of what he found and what it means for them. For all of them. I apologize for the sudden interruption, but I'm afraid there's something I must address. They turn and suddenly the lights dim. An old projector has been set up and flares to life. Oh. Behind Mayor Varick, it displays a photograph, the date written in the top right corner. Someone gags. Billy hollers obscenities. Neil stands up before sitting back down as if he doesn't know what to do with himself. Shelley winces and hisses through her teeth. Her husband, Dr. West, clasps a hand over his mouth, the scene far more brutal than likely anything he's ever witnessed within his own practice. And Colt remains unfazed because he took the picture, knowing it was far worse in person. I come to you all today with solemn news. Earlier this morning, one of our very own found a body located on the outskirts of town. The body has not been identified yet, but thanks to its presence, we can confirm one crucial fact. They turn towards the crowd. Their eyes meet with each and every person in the room until they finally fall on Colt. Who knows what they're going to say. Their jaw tightens. This was not the work of foxes. Their jaw tightens as the words ooze from their lips like drainage from an infection. The next culling is upon us. Oh my god! Game developer Unknown Hermit, let's fucking go! Thank you for playing, thank you for making this, dude. What an awesome demo. That is close to obsession. Wow. The mayor even warned people first. I don't think he knew what it was until it happened. And I'd like to say, if you didn't pick up on that, pretty sure Colt and the mayor know, and everyone in the town knows, there's some occult business, some supernatural business happening in this town. And I'm thinking Max has a very big part in it, okay? I'm thinking, yeah, this was just a demo. I said that at the beginning of the video, boyos, okay? Obviously, Unknown Hermit, like I said, is making you and him, so I guess they're working on both games at the same time. So expect updates to be even longer than normal, bitches, okay? And respect it, because game developers need a lot of fucking time to make fire visual novels such as this, okay? This is really great. I was really worried that Max was gonna get murdered there. I would have loved to see that, honestly. In a fucked up kind of way, I would have loved if the fucking teddy bear slasher ripped his foot out from under those stairs, bonked him on the head, dead, just like that. That would have been peak. Chef's kiss, okay? This is going... it was still great, though. Don't get me wrong. That's just what I was expecting, okay? That's like... When I saw that creak, I was like... No way, bro. He's gonna fucking murder us. I was like, damn, that would have been so good. This is still good, too. This is still good, too. Don't worry. That's why I wanted to go back for the kiss, because I was like, shit, man. I thought they were the bodies. What do you mean, the bodies? They were the bodies. Like, you think he had, like, bodies underneath the staircase just sitting there rotting? Now, to be fair, we don't know. So if I go back to that, let me just go back to that. Let's just do this, and then I'm going to skip a little. Skip. Okay. If I go back to this, and just take a little look behind these stairs and see this. So there's the head. But that's by itself. That's by itself. Like, someone took this off. So, you know, maybe, and it's bleeding. So there's definitely something in this, by the way. This is either a decapitated head or someone put a head in it. Or maybe they just put the eyeballs in it, to be fair. No idea if Max found the guy wearing this thing and then murdered him, or maybe Max was wearing it in the first place. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. Either way, or the killer is just in here walking around, but I don't think so. Hello Kitty case reference? What is wrong with you? Drip. And then it just zooms in on the ear dripping. I don't think that'd have to be. I don't know. I feel like that'd be really loud. I feel like that'd be really loud. The mayor took pictures of whatever. The mayor didn't take pictures, by the way. The dad did. Colt took the pictures. His dad took the pictures. He was out looking like in the fields, like he was looking for like foxes or whatever, and then he saw a trail of blood, and then he went, took pictures of what he saw, a murder, a terrible, gruesome murder, and then he brought it to the mayor, and then the mayor announced that there's a culling, which I assume is some sort of mysterious Silent Hill-esque, I don't know, like secret occult or maybe supernatural. It says supernatural in the description, so I think it's supernatural. Like the show, where are the brothers? Where's Dean? No, but you know, I'm just saying, I'm really excited for this one. This is really good. I thought his dad was the mayor. No, once again, so his dad's name is Colt Ackerman, and then the mayor is Mayor like Valeric or something. They had completely different names, so I'm sorry if you got confused on that. Okay. But no, the dad's just a regular guy in the town, but maybe not a regular guy in the town, maybe like an upstanding citizen in the town, I guess is the best way to put it. Either way, the mayor and everyone in the and then they were saying that the mayor doesn't ever show up, and then they were like, he showed up for this. So I'd like to see where this goes in the future. Obviously, our character is going to be staying for a while. I'm happier to pick the romantic route, honestly. A little different, you know, how we sorted out our feelings in the making out versus not making out route. I honestly wish we still could have had that conversation with the making out route, because we got through a lot more of like our problems, I guess. A little bit, you know, whatever. But I mean, a kiss is always fun. I bet chat likes the kiss. I'm not gonna lie, everybody likes a good kiss. Okay. Would have loved to see maybe a kiss CG. But severed head CG was a surprise, and I'll take it. As a big horror fan, I love that. But anyways, thanks guys for watching. I'm going to leave it off at that. That was the Close to Obsession demo. Yeah, it was a great demo. I think it was really fun. Writing was pretty nice. I do think some of the reasoning and stuff is, I did make fun of it a little. Don't take that the wrong way, guys. I liked it a lot still. It's just sometimes as a guy and I see this sort of thing, it does make me even a little like, because you know, every guy's got their level of toxic masculinity, I guess. So it makes me like a little like, well, you didn't see things from his side, but okay. And to support the developer, leave the link in the description below. Download the game yourself. Rate it highly on itch. Let them know in the comments if you like the game, okay? Seriously. I know Unknown Hermit would appreciate that a lot, okay? With that, I am clocking out. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. If you like this video and you want to see more visual novels or Unknown Hermit's other games, if you don't know what I'm talking about, You and Him is a great visual novel about a Yandere purple grape guy. No, it's good. Their art style is great too. So anyways, definitely check that out. I'll leave links into that at the end of the video and stuff. But yeah, I'm clocking out. So thanks everybody so much. Have a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace. Shit, there was more. I'm sorry. I'm back. I think I'll drop by the market and pick up a few things while I'm there. Is there anything you want me to grab? Ice for the cooler would be a good start. Yeah, YouTube, I'm back. By the way, sorry about that. I forgot there was an option I didn't pick, so I'm back. He thumbs his lips in piercing in thought as he goes to pull out his wallet before handing it to you. I've already got a mess kit we could use, and there's the added benefit of being near the creek, so if I could have my fishing gear, I could. He's mumbling to himself and going off on a tangent. Thanks. I took off that coat real quick. Yeah, thank you. Max? How about you text me if you did anything in particular? He flushes. Right, sorry, my bad. Yeah, I'll text you if we need anything. Meet back here in a few. You got it, big guy. Give him a mock salute with his wallet before you both go in your separate directions. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe we get a little bit more lore or something. The market isn't like any of the big chain stores you see in more densely populated areas, but they've got a decent amount of stuff in stock. You start heading for the bakery section when you pass by a corkboard. Gives you pause and you stop to examine the portraits. Missing persons. Ah, lore. A lot of them are extremely old, some of them ranging from decades ago. Very few people go missing or without notice in such a tight-knit community like Mapleweather. One picture in particular snags your attention. Oh, that's right. Give a quick cursory glance around to ensure no one is watching before you gently unpin the yellowed slip of paper. Image and words are faded, but you recognize that smile anywhere. Max Ackerman. Oh, I'm glad we came back for this. Date missing. 613XXX. Age 12 years old. Height 5'4". 108 pounds. Hair color red. Last seen near Apple Creek Road wearing a camouflage hoodie. Hiking. Well, how'd they see him? Hiking boots, faded jeans torn at the knees, and carrying a walking stick. Call if you have any information. It was the talk of the town when it happened. Max had gone out one day. Stayed missing for an entire week with no explanation for where he'd been. You could still feel Mrs. Ackerman's nails biting into your shoulders, the scent of her fear, a harsh perfume as she looked down at you with wild eyes. My baby, where's my baby? Have you seen him? Please tell me you've seen him. She'd come knocking at your door, frantic and in a panic as any decent parent would be if their child went missing. Wait, theory crafting after? When he didn't come home, Max's father, Colt Ackerman, had gone to check the tree house he'd built for his son down by the creek in hopes he'd find him. He'd wanted a place for Max to turn to, just in case he got stuck out in the woods he always adventured in. But when he got there, Max was nowhere to be found. It rained hard that night. The fact that Max hadn't returned home despite the fact it was nearly nightfall heightened their anxieties. Helicopter Barons. Your father muttered from his recliner. Then louder he said, "He'll come back. You don't have to worry. He'll no doubt turn up on your porch steps soaked by morning, wet as whatever the cat dragged in." He flipped a page in his newspaper. "Now relax and let go of my kid. They already told you everything they know." Oh. She'd gasp and let go of your shoulders, appearing guilt-ridden while you remain unbothered by the intensity. You understood where she was coming from. "I'm so sorry." "It's okay. Why don't I grab my boots so I can..." "You ain't grabbing no goddamn boots, kiddo." Colt walked up from behind Mrs. Ackerman. He was holding a flashlight and was soaked from head to toe, no doubt back from his search. He clicked off his flashlight. "Let us handle it. We don't want you getting lost, too." "But I can..." "Colt's right. You ain't stepping a foot out of this house. Leave them to handle their own." Your hands tightened into fists. 2 against 1, and Mrs. Ackerman had stepped aside to make a call. But even if she hadn't, you no doubt she'd have taken your side. It just made things all the more frustrating. Colt appeared sympathetic and went forward to ruffle your hair as he often did, always treating you as one of his own. But at the time you stepped back, Max was all you were thinking about. Colt understood and let his hand drop to his side. "We'll get him back, kiddo. I promise." It's hard to believe that hellish week ever happened. It's even harder to believe Max came out of that okay, though a little bruised for the wear. You definitely ranging from your run-of-the-mill sanders to a garden variety of wrenches and screwdrivers to even some lightning fixtures are up for sale. You lock the door behind you on reflex when you spot some high-end power tools by the cash register, all of which cost a pretty penny. While you may have grown up in the leave your doors unlocked just in case your neighbors want to drop by sort of town, city life has given you a whole new perspective. Back in New York, you could blink and either find your wallet stolen or your organs trafficked or both gone. Really, whichever came first. It's not a habit you'll get rid of anytime soon. "Max, are you here?" You pause, listen, get no response. Assume he's somewhere upstairs messing around, considering you can hear the thump of boots. You start heading towards the back when you notice the stickers upon entry and can't help yourself from smiling. You've forgotten all about these. Okay, these are kind of the same. Splash of color. Would be a famous sound poetic that really was probably just 2 kids getting up to no good. Fun bit of mischief before summer's end. Catching you red-handed, accidentally barrel rolling in you in an effort to escape still makes you chuckle. It's funny looking back on it. Okay, it's kind of like summing up what happened last time. Even back then. singing around the store into a broom while wearing a dry mop head like he was an 80s rocker. I remember laughing so hard at one point you fell off the stool behind the cash register with Max peering down at you, a pleased grin on his face. But as he grew older, some part of him lost that mischievous nature. The one that caused small bits of trouble, though they weren't really harmful in any way. Many would say it was part of growing up. A rambunctious kid turned into a responsible adult that everyone else could count on. You disagree. You don't know at what point, but you feel like he lost something he had back in his youth. You can't place where or when it happened. Just that it did. Maybe it was around the time he went missing. Your smiling expression turns somber before you notice a box of misplaced stuff in stock. Pick a package of wire cutters at random and examine them. Maybe this is what he needs help with. You can't help yourself either way and decide to make yourself useful by putting everything back in its proper place. Shoot Max a text to alert him that you're downstairs, then you put yourself to work. Okay, quick and easy. Satisfied hum. Okay, at the corner of your eye, one of the pegs has a rear view mirror hanging from it. In that rear view mirror, you can see someone walking past the storefront. Okay. And is this back to normal? Okay. So now we're back. We're back. I'm going to go to the main menu. I'm going to leave it there. Maybe there's a difference later on in the round. You can check that out for yourself. So that was a great little bit of lore that I went back for. I'm glad I went back to check that out. Sorry, my bad, chat. I forgot. Like, I honestly just forgot. I had another option I could have picked. Very interesting. He went missing in the forest where this culling is happening. And it looks like maybe he was the last at the end of the culling, maybe? Maybe he survived a culling from this supernatural threat. Or maybe this supernatural threat changed him. We don't know. Interesting, though. I'm quite happy I went back for that. That was a lot of nice lore. Either way, it's interesting. I'd like to think that the parents knew and that the father was being protective. Like, both of the fathers kind of knew. And they were like, nah. Anyways, interesting. Thanks for watching. I'm not going to go over it again. See you guys. Theories. I definitely want to see what you guys think. Leave a comment below about what you thought, okay? See you guys later. Peace.